game scenarios. You get a quick edit, take your 2 shots, and most times it's enough to eliminate your opponent.
I can actually speak to that directly.
Right.
Last week, I believe it was Outlet pushed through a ramp on me and jumped through the double barrel, and that was that's all she wrote.
That was all over.
Yeah, and those kind of plays, that's the stuff that we want to see here. Those players, they're going to push to the top of the roster. They're going to win these heats. They're going to win the qualifiers. They're going to make it to Monday.
Yep.
$1.5 million in line. Remember, if they get there, just getting to Monday is $5,000 minimum.
Yeah. And remember, that's just $1.5 million that was spread out now for this event. Throughout Summer Skirmish up to this point, it was what? I think in total was $8 million in prize money up for grabs. As a look at some of our players, that was an interesting. Maybe we should add that as an emote into the game.
Nate Hill on your screen a second there just got signed to FaZe to play Fortnite competitively, which is fantastic.
Pretty good.
He's a player that, as we were talking about before, people that have come up basically out of nowhere and said, hey, I'm worth watching.
Yeah. No, I actually, everyone's kind of got their skins that they rock in game.
Yeah.
Nate and his teammate for the recent weeks have been rocking the kind of the soccer skins or football skins.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one moment where I literally began to get an engagement with them, and I told Sarah, I was like, we should just not do this because it's Nate and his teammate, and they're very good.
You know who they are.
Let's just look for maybe an easier target on the map.
You look for Dr. Lupo, right?
Hey, I didn't want to mention it, but yeah, that's exactly who I'm actually looking for.
It's funny you mentioned the skin reference, people identifying certain skins. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, 72 Hours and Chap have been doing the same thing recently with those bandit skins. Don't they typically rock those? And because I recall last week seeing those running around and doing exactly what you said, choosing to not engage because it's a fight that they're just so good.
Yeah.
They're so good.
You got to show respect to the best players out there. And please, I will run away from that and feel no remorse. But again, just get things sorted out. Appreciate your patience, and we'll get on into the action. Just to reiterate for everyone at home, tonight we're having 6 matches played with the point breakdowns. The top 33 from tonight will be into Monday, where they compete for the majority of that $1.5 million in prize money. And that's honestly, anyone can win it. When you come to this event, people say, who are your favorites? Okay, if there was probably one pick for people out there who follow competitive Fortnite a lot, I'd say a lot are probably looking at Vivid to do a lot this weekend.
I would say a lot of people are. He has had, he won 4 of the previous Summer Skirmish weeks already, which is the prizes from that alone are massive. You can't even, you don't even know what to say about that. Those victories, man. And that's fantastic because he just joined Liquid as well. People were waiting to see which direction he was going to go, what team he was going to sign with, because he was extremely sought after. And waiting until later in Summer Skirmish for him, what a brilliant move.
His stock went up every week.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, yes. His value
I'll add another
increased.
0 to that contract.
It's got to be increasing daily.
Yeah.
Just from his stream alone, people are seeing how he can play, playing in scrimmage games. We've seen a lot of players get deep into the scrimmage games recently. Some of them stream it, some of them don't. In fact, specifically, we've seen Myth scrimming, but not streaming it. I think the move there is to try and take a more competitive stance because he wants to get really deep into the game. He wants to push all distractions aside and just focus up.
It's tough. I mean, as a content creator / streamer, while trying to also be a pro player, that's a lot on your plate, and you got to kind of put in the time that's needed to compete with the best. So I think we'll see that this weekend. The players who put in the time will definitely filter towards the top. On my screen, spoiler alert, I'm starting to see the lobby get started on up. So we're
steps away.
We should be getting back into game number 1 here soon. Off the break, though, with that first bust, we saw just how much people stretched. Far away. It's kind of like a mind game because you're used to, I'm landing a normal game. There's going to be this many teams at retail, this many teams at Salty, this many teams at Tilted. That's not the case here by any means.
Like you said, competitive gamers, they choose, they have very specific drops. And speaking of said drops, let's jump into the first game. We're getting ready to kick it off here.
That is a professional cue to get into the action.
Transition, Jack.
I love it. What a transition.
Strap in.
We are now ready for game number 1.
A much different bus path than the previous one. We have a north to kind of southeast, which means that southwest corner, granted there's a giant, there's the cut out of the terrain, but I would bet that Greasy and Flush, contrary to maybe a public match, they will be populated. You will see players go there because the stretch is important, the distance they have to travel, and It all depends on the play style. We were talking earlier about whether you land, if you land at a POI versus you land in the boonies, so to say. That's a gameplay choice. You're choosing whether or not the early game is more important. You go for early eliminations, or if you're trying to stay on the outside, you know, touch the little one-off buildings, gather as many resources, as many materials as you can. Maybe find, you know, purple AR if you get really lucky, and then bunker down if you're shooting for that, you know, that top 10 placement for points.
And just from that map that we saw earlier, only one person landed lazy, only one person landed risky. Realistically, only one person landed Tomato Temple. They're getting free reign of all the loot that goes on there.
Now that drop there, you saw Vivid had dualies, and then immediately just decided to back out after he smacked the tree a couple times, get a couple materials, playing for late game. Dualies versus shotgun. He does have the clingers in case he needs to kind of make a use his get out of jail free card. We'll see what Fugues decides to do here.
I didn't realize Boss was that weak already. I didn't realize
10
Boss was that weak. Looks like Fugues is going to go for it now. Feeling confident. All the way on the outskirts of the map. This is that building that has the pre-built structure already on it. So if you're wondering, wow, who took the time to edit this?
Looks like a player.
This is literally, it's meant to look like a player build.
Going down, look at the edits, trying to find as much loot as he can. It's interesting to see this kind of like this verticality. They know that the other player's still outside.
Oh, this, you couldn't ask for anything better. He winds up getting a shotgun. Or sorry, he winds up getting the bandages out of it, which will help him heal on up. Found the shotgun on the ground. What's crazy too about this building is those are neutral walls, so anyone can edit those. Yeah.
DMO over here, just digging through as much loot as he can. Got lucky, found some minis, which is going to be super important. Early game shield. You see, he chose the gray AR over the gray burst. Low ammunition, low medium ammo count. A burst is going to be really bad. You're going to throw bullets away. You don't want to do that, especially in a game like this where you don't know how much ammunition you might be gathering.
That's actually the location that I landed in for the Pro-Am back at E3, but now as we swap perspective to basically the opposite side of the map.
Yet another top-down, two players stuck in the same building. Back over to Fugues. Gets the elimination on Boss. That's a big takeout there. Boss, an excellent player. I'm sure next game we'll be looking to make some big plays.
Right, and again, going right back to healing on up, over to Vivid now. He's on the outskirts of the map as well. He's in a fight with Wheats.
He's only got one build left versus Wheats out here. Suppressed SMG, standard SMG. Wheats trying to make a move in there. He's sitting on 16 builds possible versus Vivid's 1. That suppressed pistol, 38 headshot. Vivid's accuracy coming out
and
here.
There you go. Wheats had a rift to go. He's going to go ahead and try to spot exactly how this plays on out. Vivid, if you do this.
Hit these shots. You know you want to. He chooses not to, taking just a couple. I think the decision to conserve ammunition right now more important, and potentially other players coming in, because those fights, especially if you're not using a suppressed weapon, you're sending up a signal flare to everybody else. Hey, I'm over here, and I might not have shield anymore.
Oh, Gorilla is maxed HP. Another fight going down versus Nibs.
On top of the building.
Nibs does have that tac shotgun.
What a huggable guy flying in your. And you saw in the previous engagement, those pyramids are used all the time by competitive players. You know, the flat surface and pyramid on the top to kind of double up. Ooh. Oh.
Fulmer gets the shotgun down on the huggable guy before he can break on out. Back to the fight we saw in the mansion just outside Greasy. Such a low material count. These fights so awkward. Top players. I mean, you almost feel naked in this game when you don't have over, what, 600, 700 material in your inventory?
You'll notice, too, right here in Nibs is even mid-engagement, swapping to the pickaxe. Gives us a couple smacks, grab a little bit of material, because that can mean one surface can mean the difference between winning an engagement or losing.
Absolutely. And we did swap late for a second, but Gorilla, who we saw had max health, was actually dropped to under 60 HP. There's a look at the map for a second, but let's dive back to the full screen action as I believe a third party has entered on into this fight.
Like tempo Payne, you see the shots from the feed. Payne got the elimination on Gorilla, and Nibs versus Payne, this little build off here. Low material build off, and Nibs can't even build. He's got 9 wood and nothing else, so he has to back out.
But you gotta love this play.
Here
immediately
drop
forfeits
down.
the high ground.
122 brick, and now this is back in the fight immediately. He's gonna build up, kind of can himself in, push inside the building to try and throw Payne off so he can't track him.
Payne, a ton of materials, and he's got a brilliant loadout here, Lupo. Grenades, he's got the swap weapon between the pump.
The shot, when it looks like it bounced back out, he's got to push up this little build off here, and the quick edit, the shotgun. Oh, and the Payne had the shotgun swap after the fast edit, dropped down, and just barely missed a shot to the target's left. Nibs getting the elimination.
That's a tough thing, right? The tactical shotgun, you kind of feel it. Yes, it's not as strong for those heavy damage hits versus the pump, but you can kind of consistently get out that damage. On the other hand, there for Payne, he uses that pump, and when he misses, the first tack hits from his opponent, he immediately goes, oh, all advantage I had is now gone.
Big mistake.
He tries to swap. Yep. At that point, there's already been 2 more tack shots fired, and it ends shortly after. Hysteria in an awkward position here.
He's
low on materials.
He can build up a little bit, but his base is falling. He's going to try and build the counter, and it's not enough. The fall damage is too much. Nibs gets the elimination on Hysteria.
Here's some Vivid earlier on.
Vivid, yeah.
Swap on over to him, gets an engagement. There's the quick cleanup on the Diggy, and look at the loot there. Vivid, who we saw just had a silenced pistol earlier on with just 73 HP, now has some shields, has an Elim. He's got some great weaponry as well. The big thing, though, is the ammo. The big thing is the ammo.
Sitting very low. Pretty much everything except for the shotgun is not. You're not going to be able to reload those, and that means that he has to make really confident, intelligent choices on engagements.
So real quick for everybody at home, 5 players with 2 elims so far on the verge of earning themselves a point. Dremin, Replays, DMO, Sofa, who was the winner from Heat 1 earlier today, and then Nibs. We've there's a lot of his action on the Diggy and outside the loot there. Again, here's the benefits we saw just had a silent pistol earlier on. He has 73 HP, now has some shields, has an Elim, he's got some great weaponry as well.
Ooh,
the big thing, though, is the ammo. The big thing is the ammo.
Elimination player sitting very low, taken out. Pretty much everything except the shotgun is not.
You need 3 elims to earn a point.
Reload those.
Fight going down now for Snood.
Make really confident,
trying to keep this high ground. You're seeing just how fast players are burning these
quick
materials. At home, and we might sound like a broken record, 2 elims so far on the verge of earning themselves a point. So passionate. When everyone can build in these lobbies, so every little bit counts. The zone now pushing on it as well. The shotgun engagement whips that shot as well. Outside. He doesn't want to have to run away. He wants to clean up this player, secure the loot, and then go without worry about his pitch.
He's at 2 eliminations already. He knows if he gets this, that is a point right there for DMO.
This could be our first point of anyone. Here are the qualifiers tonight. So much shield. He's dropped down to 25 health. Snood needs his elimination for 1 point. And again, every point fight going down now for Snood. And look at how healthy his opponent is. Trying to keep this high ground. You're seeing just how fast players are burning through these materials. We might sound like a broken record, but folks,
away 1 HP at a time. Trying to get a top down
here. So badly. When everyone can build in these lobbies, every little bit counts. The zone now pushing on it as well. The shotgun engages. He goes for that shot as well. He has no healing.
He heard him drop down.
No!
He dies to the storm.
Snood just died to the storm.
2 eliminations.
Look at him. Look at the reaction. And I think he's done as well. They both risk it in the zone. And oh no, the dance. Star power, unfortunately, won't help you there, buddy.
That's
heartbreak for Snood. Heartbreak for Snood.
Back if you're in Mars Cities, this was earlier near the beginning of the game. You see taking Joda out, 64 down to 63 players remaining there. What a set of plays. The drama in the storm. That kind of choice to just say, nope, I'm done, and just dance it out. I can respect that.
That's one of those stories that we have to keep in mind as this goes on. Snood missing out on that 1-point opportunity. You know he's kicking himself right there. Saint, who played a ton in the summer skirmishes up to this point with OP.
Triz on the feed taking out Nate Hill. Oh, Nate Hill. Player I mentioned from FaZe earlier, an excellent player. Yeah. Going down. Now, Saint versus Ream 57, a little, some edits, some preemptive edits here. Looking for the drop down. He closes the roof. Do you see how fast? Close the roof above him just in case. Just in case.
I don't know how they do it. The big thing for him, though, 2 big shields, too. He's already at max HP.
He's in a good situation.
Now, here's a look at the zone, and Ben, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
You see
players all around the outskirts, but what are the benefits of getting in the zone early on when the zone updates?
They call that gatekeeping. You have an opportunity there. You get inside the white circle, the safe zone for when the storm moves next, and you can watch for incoming players. People that might have been, they might take engagements from other players that are trying to push in the safe zone. You just sit in the top of your 1-by-1. We've seen in previous summer skirmishes, players like Tfue will pick up a scope they are.
You did it to me with a thermal.
I did indeed, and I apologize for that.
You did it last week.
Remember, Jack? No, you'll see players sit at the top of these things, and they'll wait. And it's not necessarily slow play, it's intelligent play. Yep. They're looking for chances, opportunities to take on people that are in disadvantageous positions and say, I'm here and I can get the last shot on you, because every elimination counts. You said if they get to 3, that's a point.
Yeah. And this is a very awkward scenario right now for 72 hours, and here's why. The man has no shields. He's got the storm at his back. He's got to push forward. And only 75 HP.
He does
so
have
many
5.
things one-shot him.
He's got 5 bandages. He can fight against storm damage a little bit. It's not going to tick for more than 1 until it closes, and there is a launch pad that he could use. More bandages as well. It's kind of like he just sort of won the bandage lottery there, sitting at 10. And he can use a launch pad and try and fly past these players. The choice to avoid an engagement rather than take it is a huge one, because that means that, especially somebody like 72 Hours, he knows the right thing to do there is worry more about the storm and less about these people that you know they're going to end up fighting each other. Like Blue T and Replays right now, a little bit of a build fight. Replay looks like he's looking for a snipe shot. You see him he's jumping and whipping back. Here it comes. Oh! There it is! Replays with the headshot on Blue
he's
T
in phase. He's got to have a sniper. I'm pretty sure when you join phase, there's like a contract where you can only use snipers.
I guarantee
in those close scenarios.
The thought of a 360 went through his head before he hit that shot, and that put him at 3 elims. That's a point.
And now he's the second player. Actually, Dremin hit 3 elims earlier on.
Ashton with an engagement. The drop there, putting him down to 18. He was at 51. Took some shots from the player that he's in a fight with here. And those little triangle builds, building up. Not enough. Dester gets the shot in there on Ash, who pushed through the wall. The spray down of the surface. You saw him kind of try and whip back, block him out, but it wasn't fast enough. He snuck inside the box and got him. But even right here, Flame is sitting on the top of the tower. This is the situation that a lot of these players are going to face, is they build into these boxes, these cathedrals, and there's more than who you know.
Gatekeeping.
Exactly. Vivid waiting right there at the edge, just trying to pick up what he can. A heavy sniper here. Hands a few, but he's going to try and shoot down that green AR, just spamming out the build.
This is again for his 3rd elim, and we sound like broken records with some of this stuff.
The points they're so important.
The points are everything. Again, if you get 3 or 4 elims, you earn yourself 1 point. 5 to 6 elims is 2 points. 7+ elims is 3 points. And then there's also points for placing.
Placing is
4th through 10th, you earn 1. 2nd and 3rd, you earn 2. 1st place is +3.
The edit there, do you see that? It replaces the wall, places the wall, edits a window so fast to try and get the shotgun, the pump shotgun shot off. He's going for it. You see every time.
He got it, he got it!
Right there, gets the shot. What a fast edit.
He's doing such fast edits, he's confusing himself as he's just trying to get in the box. Swapping down over to Dester.
5 HP.
And there's the drum gun.
Right now, Dester just holding down left click, trying to keep the wall up. Turbo mode coming in clutch for situations like that, where he can just keep his opponent out as long as he's got the build up, holds down that left mouse click.
And this is almost a must. Flame. What?
5 HP in a dream. He popped 2 minis. So he's at 55, but he didn't take. Oh!
He got 3 elims though. He got 3 elims. It's a point.
Turkey Lips coming in third partying, basically a melee combat third party to try and get the last elimination.
And third partying is something that we talk about so much. If you watched any of the summer skirmishes up to this point, I'm sure you've heard the commentators talk about it. Why is third partying everything in these bets?
So you have 2 players like this right here, 72 versus his opponent right now. There could be we'll say, third party that can come in, and somebody that knows that there's a fight going on.
Assuming they're weak,
damage. Exactly.
Get a free kill.
And say, this elimination is mine as well. You see on your screen, 6 players right now. Even though Replays and Dester are both eliminated already, 6 players already have 1 point from this first game of 6 for this evening's qualifiers, which is huge.
Yep.
You're going to see a lot of players play safe, especially the ones now that have that point obtained already, because it's just a smart play.
TB Fulmer actually just moved up there as well. 36 players remaining as we move in towards our next zone. This was Turkey Lips earlier on. I think this is when he saw that, that free little elim as he went for it here. Quick break, and then hello. That new shotgun, man, the double barrel is something special.
An intelligent play there, too, to wait until what is essentially the fight has played out. So, there's no reason to push in early because you don't know what they might be carrying. Imagine pushing into that box and there's remote explosives on the wall. You put yourself in a situation where you're going to get eliminated. He waited till the last second and said, okay, now he's healing. They listen for those audio cues, the bandage sound, the drinking the minis or the big shield, and they know when to push in.
Ladies and gentlemen, we actually just had our first player hit 5 elims. Fulmer just got 3 elims in the last 30 seconds to move from 2 to now 5. Settled that him at 2 points so far this game, but the action as we see Nibs, who's already got a point on the board in total. He's out of materials,
no builds left,
and he's out of luck here.
Asuji taking the elimination just as the zone is closing in, but Struggs is up top. This is that third partying that we were talking about. He's got a window edited open. He's just tapping down below, seeing if he can pick up that last elimination. You have Horrify.
Fuzzy's like, please, no one know I'm here.
I'm down here with 1 HP, guys. Don't worry about it. He's got his hunting rifle out, but you know he's not going to engage anybody. That's a play for position and knowing that if he steps out of that box, that's going to be all she wrote.
Yep.
Horrify trying to take some shots there. Struggs, you see earlier, I was talking about Struggs, third partying from the top of that tower, gets the elimination of Basuji with the rifle shot, 82 meters out. Nades coming in and just waiting to see if he can hit that hunting rifle shot.
Exits had a campfire, cozy campfire used in there.
Powder underneath Horrify there. Punisher taking shots, just the purple AR tap fire in these buildings. Some stink grenades to try and push an opponent out of their position. Because Punisher may or may not realize there are 2 targets over there. The second one back to the left and actually lower than the one that he was engaging. Here you go. Fulmer did go down, but he is at the top of the board, 5 eliminations, which puts him at 2 points. The only player right now with 2 points in this game.
Yeah, and Turkey Lips is close. I think the big thing for Turkey Lips right now is he's only 6 meters, 7 meters from the zone. So he'll be able to rotate quite quickly. No. Again, I like the use of that impulse grenade by Punisher. Saving materials, just impulsing up to the high ground instead of having to build himself, you know, wooden ramps. Every wall counts late game, Dr. Lupo.
You see him smacking these trees too. Leaving them up too. One of the things that competitive players tend to do, especially early to mid game when there's movement happening. And this is Fulmer, by the way. The push to 5 eliminations gets 1 outside the zone there on Prodigy Aces. But the farming those materials, they'll leave trees up and not knock them down, because when the tree goes down, you can see those from anywhere.
Oh, Turkey Lips, you hear that sound when the shields are officially ripped off. That gives Morgoth TV.
Drop down the rocket. An attempted to play, and Turkey Lips actually takes himself out with the rocket.
And I can tell you something, Morgoth TV is very angry because that would have been 3 elims, and now he's down to just 6 HP. This could be the worst case scenario, as he thought he had the 1 point secured.
He's got to push inside still. The Storm, 20 seconds left, and he's got players boxing up in front of him. He's reloaded. He's good on materials, at least for an initial kind of box up. He can build himself some structure, but after that, he's very 400 might seem like a lot, Jack, but it's just not when these players are going to start spamming buildings down. You hear the explosions coming out. It's nightmare fuel for some of these guys. Morgoth's trying to get that 3rd elimination and secure a point.
Again, it's two engagements that he was 1 bullet away from getting that elim he needed, and it still hasn't happened yet. Bounce pads, 4 for Exus.
You see the setup he's running right now, too, is very much a close range, a close engagement setup, because these games kind of run to small circles very often. The map is getting tight with players. People are going to start stacking up on top of each other, and you're going to run into close quarters engagements way more often than not. Speaking of, the double barrel, Horrify goes down. After the swap to the drum gun, he's going for as much healing as he can. The mini is going to come in clutch.
He just got dropped to 23 health. That was 1 bullet again that Morgoth wasn't able to get. See, it's Wheats now moving closer. 4 players in this one area. Just continue to shield on up, only 73 health. Looking for that perfect third party, you know, engagement. Doesn't want to get a straight up 1v1, especially with this little HP.
Now they've got to start making moves quick too, because you see there's 21 players left and 20 seconds before. This is the first time the Storm is going to move in this first game. Finishing a challenge there. Well done, Morgoth. But the Storm is going to start to move, and that's why Morgoth is moving already. He's trying to prepare ahead of time, and you'll see a lot of players do that, but you'll also see some players, especially if they have bounce pads, they'll wait to the last second because they don't have to move early. They can let everybody else get into position and start fighting each other, and then kind of sneak in. They're trying to slide in underneath all the combat.
Here it goes,
Storm
folks.
Starting to move.
Everyone's swarming. Morgoth turns, tries to put more
still
damage downrange. Still hasn't gotten his 3rd elim. Tig set up outside the zone. He's got to move in as well. Here he goes. Expect him to place floors, walls, ramps, trying to build for that high ground. The Storm hits for so much damage at this point. A little build battle going on down the quick edit. He misses it. Now he'll drop on it. There's a trap that hits him for the full 150. And now he realizes just how desperate of a situation he's truly in. The panic build's coming on in. The quick drop down as well. The sign of a great player. as he's able to recover for the moment.
He's actually in a wonderful position for the next circle. You see in the top right, he's already on the west side, and it's going to go north-northwest. He could just slide along with that. But these shots, this is the time. There's 20 players left. You have to remember, top 10 minimum to get a point, and that means everybody's going to play for position. And a bad position from Tick gets shredded from up top. That floor and triangle build pattern, trying to build up double layers, and Psalm, one of our previous round winners from the heats today, to get into this qualifier, playing exceptionally well. Three eliminations here, which means a point secured already. 15 seconds till the storm moves. Jack, what's your play?
Oh, my play is get as close to the next zone as possible. I don't like to play for the high ground, which is probably the wrong thing in general. I typically play the low ground in these scenarios, as it looks like two players now fighting for the high ground at the moment. Alpha AMO, the bounce pad, brilliant stuff. He tries to shoot down the structure and only gets tagged for 15, so... Oh gosh.
He's stuck against a bounce pad under the stairs.
That sums up my life.
He's in a box. If he can't make it out of there, the storm is gonna eat him.
He can't get out, it's still going off.
You see the top of it, he's still bouncing. No.
Oh my gosh. And that's the last time Posey ever used a bounce pad. Everyone now swarming on in. You can see just how hectic this is. The high ground right now looks like Sean has it, but there's 72 hours on the right side of your screen with just 100 HP. Wheats on the bottom left down to just 1 health.
He's
every man
still
for
from
himself
earlier.
At the moment, and here comes the remote explosives, dropping him on down. A damage tag there. I can hear the crowd behind us getting into this, folks.
13 left.
No elim yet.
He's still looking for his second one. 13 left. 3 more players go down, and everyone that's remaining at that point gets at least 1 point.
And remember, folks, we are live all weekend with this action from PAX, the final week of the Summer Skirmish. These players across tonight looking to qualify for Monday's $1.5 million. That'll be up for grabs.
Sofa goes down up top. The elimination happens for Alpha Ammo.
He still needs one more to earn himself that point for elims. The next player that dies will just be right on the cusp of earning the 1 point for the top 10. Everyone knows it. They want this free point. Who will be the one to drop and just barely miss out?
See the push. There's actually a player right above. Goes down. That's 8 remaining. A quick shift in player count as the circle is moving, and that's pretty common in these late zones.
Sean's got the high ground, 72 hours. One of the more notable players left in this lobby. Sam, who won that Heat 2 earlier on, still alive. Alpha all the way up top, and How has more Gauss TV stayed alive. He's had that much HP from 3 zones ago.
As soon as you say it goes down the shotgun, I think you might have jinxed
He just got a limb. Oops. My bad.
Apparently Sean was taken, but Sean was taken is still here all the way up top. He's got a top-down view. 0 eliminations, but it doesn't matter. He's playing for late game, and Structure's going down.
Oh, no!
Just barely misses out. That is 3 eliminations here.
Okay.
That gives him a point. 1 minimum plus.
Now, top 3 is +2.
So he's got 2 points right now. If he can make it to third, 2 more players go down, that secures him at least 1 more point.
Yeah.
He's got a campfire. He's out of abilities, ways to heal his HP, but he does have 6 minis in case he gets into a fight. He's popping the campfire right now to try and push himself up as much HP as possible in case an engagement happens, especially right now where he's up top. You were saying earlier, the top being a really advantageous position, but it's not always the best.
Not always the best, especially when one of the best players in the game, 72 hours, is still live on the low ground and knows exactly how to play this scenario. Folks, we are down to our top 4. Here's 72 hours. Vulturing from the floor, he's placing traps. And guess what? He's basically saying, come on down, folks. Fall on in, because I've got traps everywhere. One just went off and didn't get him a limb. He's already got 1 point himself. The zone closing on in. This is it, folks. Who will come out on top? Remember, top 3 is +2 points. The trap's still coming on down.
You see, he's timing his heal until right when the zone closes. He waited until he could use that last bandage. Here we go.
Everyone trying to heal. Who's going to stay alive?
Alpha pushing down. He's using the drum gun, trying to get in. Gets elimination. Uses a bandage. Not going to be enough.
Alpha dropped. Strugs wins.
Strugs wins.
Strugs wins in the final moments with just 20 HP, trying to heal on up. As you saw, everyone was basically on top of each other. It's a heal fight, but in the end, Strugs with what? He only had 1 elim, but a victory will earn him +3 points. Down to the wire, it went there, and here's the final moments again. He had 0 build left.
All it was, you hear the spam clicking, just use the bandages, and you can hear the shots. At this point, though, Strug's mind is basically thinking, I'm either going to get a heal off, or I'm going to go down.
Look.
He doesn't even rush. 5 HP remaining.
Even he didn't believe it. There you go, my friend. Congratulations on the victory royale there. The heals at the end. One of the toughest moments in #1. There you go. Our game 1 winner. Down to the wire there, Lupo, but I think that's a sign of what's to come here tonight. Those final couple points for those high placements mean everything.
Every time the circle moves, every time it closes, or every time, especially late game when it starts to actually relocate, you're going to see a lot of eliminations come out. And like you saw there, before even the second to last circle, we had 20 players remaining. And because every single one of those players knows that if they survive to top 10, they get at least 1 point. You're going to see a lot of players pull moves like that because going for points, trying to make it through the grand finals, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Eliminations aren't everything. They do count, and we did see a number of players. Even early in the game, 5 eliminations on a single player is huge. And we saw from earlier, the players that won the heats during the day, they had 5 eliminations.
That's all you needed. That's all you needed. One big game. That's got to be the motto of all of Summer Skirmish up to this point. One solid game is really all you need in some of these scenarios, but we do have a couple replays to look through, and ironically enough, the first replay is from replays.
Of replays. The shot. we were talking about it as he lined it up too. Boom. Bang. The shot on Blue Tee, a quick headshot.
What a challenging snipe. He's got to hit this opening window to earn himself the 1 point.
Even on the drop.
Yeah.
Look at this. Oh, you hate to see it, but you love to see it, Jack.
It depends on who you are. Blue Tee hates to see it.
Hates to see it.
Any FaZe Replays fans out there love to see it. I can promise you that. And that was just one of many of the great moments from that first game. We also have Turkey Lips, who was one of our higher players in Elims from that first matchup there. Put on a little bit of show for everybody at home.
Let's take a look. This was a third-party opportunity we were talking about earlier, knocking the floor out and the push in with a shotgun. After Desser had just been in a fight right before that. Listening for those audio cues, and then you see here, after that elimination, immediately shifts over, the Rocket to take the structure out and fighting a player outside the zone. Even if he's not landing hits, that player's HP still decreasing.
Yep.
He's still getting closer and closer to another elimination and potentially a point.
Wow. Well, we saw it there. Dramatics down to the final moments. Again, hashtag Summer Skirmish online. Give your predictions for the weekend now. So guess what? When your player potentially wins,
you can tell all
go
your
and
friends
show that
right.
tweet.
Yeah, I said it first.
Pull up that Instagram post, anything.
Now,
I called this.
I put my money on you, Jack, just saying.
That's not possible for me
not
to win.
Not necessarily to win, but I put my money on you.
Thank you, Ben. That means a lot to have. We do have another replay to show. This is from Posey, where he had a little bit of an awkward run-in with the bounce pad.
Posey versus a bounce pad.
That's a bounce pad malfunction on his end right there. It's not good to place bounce pads under things.
He's trying to shoot the wall out and trying to sneak his way out, and just was not fast enough. That's hands up. I can't believe that happened. And I'm going to be honest with you. I know that feeling. That's a tough one, man. You get stuck inside. And he put it down at a time where it was advantageous, but then the build over top of him, there was a roof after the stairs went up too. He got stuck in a box, and as the storm, the worst time possible as the storm was closing in.
Listen, well, it didn't work out for Posey there. We do have a winner from game #1. I believe Struggs is down on the floor with Zeke with an interview. Zeke,
gentlemen,
what's going on?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can indeed, Zeke. We can indeed.
Great cast on the day. You guys are beautiful. Never forget that. Guys, that was a crazy game 1, and I've got the winner here with me. Struggs, come on over. How are you feeling after that crazy game 1?
Kind of crazy. I can't really explain it. I'm just trying to look forward to the rest of the tournament, to be honest.
Now, what were you thinking in those final moments, right? It's you and 3 other players. You're at the top, and what made you decide we're going for the heel off? This is the moment.
I was mid-ground, and, like, I had no mats left. So I was like, the guy below has trapped 2 up top. I was like, I have 8 bandages. Might as well try and heal.
Now, this was obviously the end game. So where were you at in mid-game? What was your plan of attack?
Super passive, early rotate. I, like, centered myself in zone really good.
Fantastic. Now, finally, what is your tactics, your strategy going in? This is only game 1. You've got 3 more. Yep. What is your strategy going to the next few games?
Honestly, probably going to do the same thing. Maybe a little bit more kill incentive, just because that might work better, but probably the same thing.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck to you, Struggs, in the following games. Back to you guys on the desk.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Good
it,
stuff
Zeke.
there. Good luck. Have fun next. You see, Zeke, I think it's going to be his challenge to have as many weird handshakes as possible. But just so you guys know at home, there has been an update to the format for the qualifiers for the next few days. These nightly qualifiers will actually just be 4 matches through the night instead of the full 6. That was a recent change that just came on out. They wanted us to address here. Either way, still a lot of Fortnite action. Don't worry.
We're just getting started, Jack.
Yes, we really are. And that was just game number 1. Already what we've seen, heal-offs, build battles and edits.
We've seen crazy headshot snipes.
Headshot snipes that are brilliant that I wish I could hit.
One day, both of us, my friend.
One day I'll get there. One day I get there. And I'm seeing on my end, they're getting the lobby all set on up for game number 2. We already have some players with the points on there, but there's a lot of exciting stuff to come here in Fortnite here soon. One of the big things, though, is the new limited time mode to come. I've got a ton of information to fill you in on. Fortnite presents High Stakes. We are super excited to give you the first look at High Stakes, a brand new event coming to Fortnite next week. High Stakes is made of a brand new limited time mode called The Getaway, a new wildcard outfit with selectable styles, and a free set of challenges that unlock rewards. Tune in tomorrow for a first look at the outfit and glider that will be coming to the item shop when High Stakes launches next week. I mean, come on,
Look at the skin, Jack. Might be the most.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
A jeweled llama. I want that thing. Where can I get one, Jack? I want one in my house right now.
By, I think, just playing? I don't know. I don't know how else we can go.
Is that?
Yeah.
Wait, so I play the LTM
Yes.
and I get the jeweled llama. Well,
No,
I guess that's the only
that.
option.
I'm not confirming that. That's above my pay grade. I don't know. But either way, that new event comes next week. Tune in here throughout the weekend to see more and more about it because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of reveals. Always excited to see new, fresh stuff coming to Fortnite.
I'm excited. And anytime they kind of add something new, you see players develop new strategies to play,
Yep.
New ways to like build around their opponents and the crazy setups that they change and utilize. And there's going to be so many things coming out from Epic. It's going to make your head spin, Jack. It's going to make physically your head will spin, which is really bad for you.
I don't know any of it, but
if you did,
it sounded.
I mean,
it
look
sounds
at,
like
look
it's
at their
gonna be
track
cool.
record. Every week, I feel like they're hitting us with something new.
Oh, no, they have.
I guarantee you, it's not going to stop.
You love to hear that. You absolutely love to hear that. And I'm all for it. You know, we know Season 5 is probably the ends on the horizon. All of us out there wondering what on earth is
What's
happening
the cube doing?
with the purple cube that's just rolling around the map.
What is that thing?
It's taking a tour of the map. I've heard so many rumors. It's going to destroy Loot Lake. It's going to suck up Tilted.
You think it's going to Tilted?
Someone's going to come out of the thing. I don't know what people are, how they come up with this, but I'm with it. I'm with each one.
The anti-grav zone that I put down right now just north of Fatal Fields. That's created so many opportunities for people to do some really, there's been clips I've seen on Twitter of people going for just like jump 360 no scopes.
We've been gone for a day, but it's already crawled up that whole mountain and walked to the other side.
Still rolling.
And it's still rolling.
Still rolling.
Yeah. That's what happens when you miss out on one day of Fortnite, apparently.
Yeah, look, this is what happened. Jack, we're missing out, dude.
I'm going to walk out of here. Imagine. But no, again, for everybody at home, again, if you missed the update, we are just playing 4 matches for these late night qualifiers for the next 3 days, down from 6. Either way, still so much Fortnite action. Game 2 should be underway here momentarily. We will have a leaderboard update here soon for you guys later on tonight. But
if this isn't enough, too, if one day is not enough, you're in luck, actually. If you're here at PAX West or if you're at home, you can watch all 4 days online.
Yep.
We have every evening. We've got these qualifiers in the grand finals on Monday, $1.5 million. And no matter what, if you make it to the grand finals, that's $5,000 minimum.
yeah.
That's amazing.
And you know, there's so many big names out here. We actually had a chance to catch up with some of the more celebrity-style players. Let's take a look.
Oh! No way! Yeah, boy! No! Why is there only 3 people? Welcome.
Oh! Side of Pirates.
They might upload it, I'm pretty sure.
Drive away, driver! Go, go, go! What the hell?
get it. 20 bomb.
Oh, please, one shot. No.
And that was a look at some of the gameplay of some of our top performers so far in the Summer Skirmish up to this point. All of them will be participating this weekend live here at the $1.5 million final week of the Summer Skirmish with action throughout the weekend.
8 weeks and $8 million total over the course of the entire series it's crazy.
Yep.
It explains a lot about why people have been getting so serious about Fortnite and digging in, trying to improve their game every day that they play. Some of these players spend hours and hours, 10+ hours a day, just focusing, grinding to try and improve every little bit of their gameplay that they can, edits, every build, their shots. You see players jumping into the playground mode to try and increase the, just make themselves as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And let's see in game 2 here if it pays off.
Here we go.
We need some noise, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, game 2 about to begin. Who will come out on top? We saw Struggs with the heel off at the end last game. For game number 2, which player will rise above the rest and secure that victory royale? We know some players who have some points so far. We'll get a full standings update for you as soon as possible for everyone at home, because I'm sure you're looking out for that. But either way, let's get into the action.
In the bottom right here, our winner from last game, Struggs, dropping in. He's looking at the southeast corner of the map. Maybe a Paradise Palms, maybe hitting the like the mini junction to the southeast of that. You can even land up on top of the structures up here and just see if he can dig up a chest or two. It depends on the style that he wants to go for, how he's played previously. Actually, he's cutting back. He's heading to retail. He decided maybe didn't see too many players dropping here, which means this might be an early aggression game. Home and native land. He lands only gets ammo. Is relatively unlucky. If there's somebody in one of these buildings close and they spot him on the move out here, this
is the worst thing ever.
This could be a very bad position. Now, right here in front of this little tent, there's sometimes a weapon spawn. We'll see if he gets a chance to get one.
Oh my goodness.
Jack, this is not good. This is extremely not good. This is an unlucky drop.
Yeah, this is one where he's already kind of going, and don't get me wrong, he's in a fantastic position because he's already earned himself 3 points. But still, no weapon in hand. Eliminations already have begun. I believe Wheats and DMO have both been eliminated already.
Trying to go for the drop on his opponent there. The shotgun pops. He goes down to the blue pump. One single shot on the way around the corner. That is a product of excellent aim, making use of that shotgun up close.
And there was a Crypto with the shot down on the Dremin, and if you remember, Dremin actually earned himself a point back in that first game from the eliminations.
Supa Senpai Sens underneath here, underneath Crypto down here in there's so many nicknames for this place. I call it the Wild West just because of the nature of the buildings. What do you call it, Jack?
People call it Westworld just because it's like far out there. At this point, Epic, we just need names for all this stuff, please. Help us. Name the Viking Village area Valhalla.
Clearly.
That's the only correct name in my book.
Now, explain to me the pass on the purple burst there.
So
he's stuck with the green tap fire, the single fire shot.
People ask all the time, is this better than this? What do you use for sensitivity? What are your keybinds? Guys, everything in games is how comfortable you feel. Some people feel better with the burst AR. Some people feel better with the normal assault rifle. Especially early game with the lack of ammo, you kind of want the more precise weapon, and that is that single tap AR. For me, I'm picking a green assault rifle over the Epic Burst assault rifle.
Personally, I think it's going to take a big difference in ammo count to make that kind of decision. The burst, if you get a full shot, like just straight up the bot, you can rip a player half HP down in one burst at the right range, and it takes a really good aim to make that happen. But if you can pull it off and you have the ammo to utilize it, it's undeniably a powerful weapon. 72 hours moving southwest out of retail. Sees a build fight in front of him, and this is a third-party opportunity. He can find who's up top and maybe take advantage. Back down here, the southwest corner, just northeast of Flush Factory. Zate trying to find his target inside, gets a shot as he's moving up the stairs. It might be enough if he can capitalize, kind of take advantage of mixing it up above Cubs Mill down at the bottom. He's got a green pump out, and Zate is full HP.
And remember, this is actually a really awkward area to fight in.
Look at his loadout, too.
This is just
Slurp
insane.
2 rockets, a blue pump, purple suppressed pistol, and he's got a porter rip.
Yep. Zate's trying to break on in, looking for exactly where Cubs Mill can be. Just playing in this outside factories area, looking for the entry. Cubs Mill's like, please just forget about me.
A little bit of cat and mouse
please
happening.
Forget about me.
Zate's trying to track down his target. Sound cues are going to be a big deal here, waiting to see if he can hear. Even just like a weapon swap can be enough to give away position because your opponent can hear that. Cosmo will not switch off that shotgun. He is going to wait until the last second. And right now, he's still in the safe zone. So, I mean, at this point, he could stick his hands up in the air, and it would be an effective way to hide. Now, he's right around the corner, sees the edit, the rocket drop in there, trying to knock the wall out. Literally the same position as just a second ago. Zay got the shot through the stairs moments ago.
Resetting over and over.
Materials are going to start to look
he knows where he is.
Zay's got 5 builds up, the rocket up top. So close to getting the Elim there.
Here's the thing, look at the material count. Literally can build two more walls.
It might even be a good opportunity soon to go for that box that's just sitting out in the open. If he can't locate and eliminate Cubsmill easily, you might have to worry about building some material because there's a potential chance for a build fight. Now, it also depends on Cubsmill's materials right now as to whether or not pushing is a good idea, and Zay won't know that. Earlier, though, at the top down, you see Mars City's building up top. Gets a very long-range shot with that shotgun there.
That's a beautiful inventory to have.
Oh, yeah.
The shotgun, the assault rifle,
setup.
the quick drum gun swap, the hunting rifle, and a mini. That is really all you can ask for. And I believe we've just heard from production that Zate just completely left that fight.
The porter
we just saw. He used the rift to go and got on out of there.
Seeing the feed, Wolfman going down to C9's Top Boy, Enigma in a box here, trying
and
to play safe.
We keep talking about audio cues. It's so important to listen. He was just hearing minis get popped on just the other side.
Makes you wonder if Nate knows that he's underneath. Now, up here, Cubsmill. You have back engaged with Zate. Chased him up top. Cubs actually went after this elimination, saying, you don't get away from me. No, no, no.
Zate just used his slurp, so every second that ticks will help Zate. He's trying to keep this high ground. He does not have a lot of materials.
You see him smacking the roof, just trying to get, you see he's going to push up to 30 wood. He's got 3 wood builds now and 1 stone, and that's it. Nate Hill still, he's looking for the player that is hiding underneath him. Enigma still trying to sneak away those sound cues.
And he just saw 52 damage health headshot tag. So for him, he's going for this right away.
Absolutely.
Except to try to just kind of mouse one through this wall. Doesn't quite finish the elim yet.
He got a shotgun tag a little too far away to secure that elimination. 1 shot from that double barrel, but it's super effective if you are close enough to your target. And it finds him, gets the 145. Almost doesn't even matter how much.
It's a lot of damage, just as my professional opinion. It's a lot of damage now. I'm looking at the mini-map, too, in front of me here. Players having to push all the way towards the south side of the map. It's a long run for a lot of players who landed anywhere in Pleasant Park, Tomato Temple, Lazy Links.
We even have a player moving in from Junction in the northwest.
Look at this build battle in the top right. Huggable guys looking for the third-party engagement. The pyramids being built up, stopping any build opportunity. Sign of a fantastic player.
Gonna edit his way down, gets caught off guard there. A shotgun shot puts him at 56 HP, I believe. And Horrifying goes down to Jack's shotgun push there. Top of retail looking terrifying.
I believe Jack is the youngest player on the United lineup for Fortnite. They brought everyone out there from the team. Met up with one of their general managers earlier on.
You have 3 players still here on this side of retail. So potentially engagement still happening. It surprises me, though, that with the sound that was made from that, the shotgun shots, they're pretty loud. You're going to have players third party, but nobody took advantage in that moment. But Jack is getting pushed on. His opponent does have a top down on him.
What you just saw right there was a brilliant, brilliant counter build play. Jack went to go pyramid above his opponent, but his opponent, Sean, placed floors below his ramps to stop the ability to pyramid up top, which let him keep moving forward with his builds on the high ground. Full advantage now to Sean in this engagement versus Jack. With the amount of health he has, the weapon swaps he can use, I'm expecting him to win this 10 out of 10 times.
Puts it down, gets the edit, and he's trying to go for just a perfect time push there. Listen for those sound cues, see if he can keep track of where his opponent went.
Jack
backed out into the storm to get away. Back earlier, though. The pop down on Cubsmill, Zate secures it, and that was after popping the slurp, which turns out he didn't necessarily need, but it was a smart play at the time. Now, Jack, we were just saying, this is a smart play.
Only ticket for 1. Literally, I was so confident in his opponent to beat him, and Jack knew. Like, I don't just say he's going to win 10 out of 10 times without kind of knowing how good of a scenario Sean was in.
Jack knew that too.
Jack recognized that as well and said, literally, this is so unwinnable that I'm going to run into the storm to reposition. Like, I'm going to be honest, that really validates me as a caster for a second. It feels good because
feels
literally
really
that was
good.
so unwinnable that he just said, forget it. I'm running into the zone to leave this.
Now, Tempo Pain dropping those grenades out there. The goal here, drop his opponent down and throw them off any kind of cadence they have.
Oh, he's near the cube.
He is near the cubes.
I think he's
you see him generating shield right now.
Yeah.
There it is. It's part of this is a three-man fight. And it looks like his opponent did get eliminated.
Wait, that's how far it's moved?
It has moved all the way over there.
Wait, it's by shifty now?
It is.
I left for a day.
Things change quick, man. You got to keep up on the meta, Jack. Come on. Now, Morgas, we saw this was a player the last game was struggling to try and get his third elimination to secure that single point, trying to get that point. He's boxed himself in. He's top of Salty. He's building up a lot of quick edits to change his angles versus whatever opponent might try and sneak up. He's got a player underneath him. He's got Psalm between him and the top of Chimney Rock. He's got a number of players that are going to rotate in from the north and northwest sides right now. So this is a perfect third-party opportunity. Granted, he doesn't have anything long range. A drum gun, a minigun. He has a legendary heavy shotgun. The remote explosives.
A loadout like this, he's hoping for late game. Here's a look at Vivid. Someone who has won multiple times in the early weeks of Summer Skirmish. He's going to go for it all. LMG now in hand as he's hearing the shields get popped. Try to juke his opponent right there, his goal. Hit the close wall, force his opponent to build out and try to catch him as he builds above. Vivid keeping this high ground. He knows that is everything, but unfortunately, there's that third party as someone has just peeked from up above.
He may or may not have realized that there were shots from above here. And right now in this game, by the way, 2 players with 3 eliminations, Marcities and Top Boy, which means they both have a single point apiece. Trying to defend against these shots from the player underneath him. The low shot count that he was getting, that was coming at him, you notice he never built the triangles to double layer the floor. Yeah. That was, I think, the expectation there from Vivid is that, ooh, what a snipe. The expectation being that he doesn't think he's going to get shot at enough that he has to double layer. That means his opponent might be low on ammo, and he can disengage. They're going to disengage because they don't want to necessarily hit the shots. Use that bolt action to take out the ramp as his opponent was building up, and it forces them to drop down. They're closer to the zone. They're going to build back away from him, and he's trying to keep pressure on them. Bolt action to take out the ramp as his opponent was building up, and it forces them to drop down. They did hit the body shot zone. They're going to build back away from him, and he's just 95 HP remaining to keep pressure on them. Bolt action to take out the ramp as his opponent was building up, and it forces them to drop down. They did hit the body shot right now. They're going to build back away from him, and he's 95 HP remaining to keep pressure on them. Bolt action to take out the ramp.
Vivid is great throughout the whole game, but where he truly excels is when it gets into little battles like this. These one by ones, these quick edits, these maneuvering around the close areas. Look at this, people all around him.
3 players in that tower, and Vivid is going to stay down below, maybe wait for a third-party opportunity, because if these two are going to engage each other, he doesn't have to push. If you play for position, if you play for ranking, that's crazy important.
Now, what Vivid doesn't know is this is actually who he hit with the 105 body shot earlier. Cerverza, who didn't have any healing.
You see here, the edge of Salty is... that's a lot of players in one spot, Jack.
Yes, it is, man. Yes,
a lot of third-party opportunities, but also, man, you put yourself out there, everyone is going to look for that pick. Everyone is going to try and take shots. Because those sound cues, they're going to go off, people are going to hear the gunshots, and you'll see heads popping up like gophers left and right.
Absolutely, as people are going to have to move on in. At some point soon now, this zone, which was crazy that it was pushing everyone to the south. So here's the thing, right? Everyone was having to move to the south part of the map. This third zone, Ben, just stayed at the top north part. So the majority of the players are actually already in and around the zone, unlike last game when we were in this scenario, which is why I think we're seeing so many more people turtled up in these 1x1s, with still 48 left.
So you're Vivid, who was in the bottom of that tower.
I'm telling you, this is where this man works, Ben. I'm telling you, this man works.
Catching Cerverza off guard there. The shotgun shot. And they build those catacombs, the multiple little chambers in there, in an attempt to throw people off on positioning. Because you don't necessarily, if you have 3 or 4 of those little 1x1 boxes built up with the roofs on top, you can't necessarily track where people are, and it gives you the chance to kind of sneak around inside. And like Vivid did there, like you saw, he just edits his opponent straight down, takes the opportunity to take the shot and get the elimination.
So a quick update for everybody at home. Right now we have 4 players who've earned at least 3 elims. Top Boy, Jack, Marcides are all at 3. Fugues, who was leading this game at 4, was just eliminated literally seconds ago in 43rd. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Fugues got a point from game 1 as well. So he's been having a good job with the limbs so far. As we'll continue to update you guys on the live scores in game. Now in the action.
Kind of filled in the boxes, the platforms you couldn't see. The triangle on top of a 1x1 still works, still gives you the safety because the coverage is still there, it's still built up, but you can peek out and watch other players' movement.
I actually just loved what I just saw from Landjock right there. He threw the Clinger grenade, and recently the Clinger was updated where it no longer instantly explodes when a wall is destroyed. So instead of throwing it on a side wall, he threw it at the top, because the new way that Clingers work is when you destroy the structure it's on, it naturally begins to fall down with gravity. So he destroyed the roof, the Clinger then fell on in, and the player got damaged and had to escape. This was Blue Tea earlier on with that double barrel up close and personal. Bye-bye, my friend. That was how Fugues was eliminated from this one.
Punisher sitting on the top of 1x1. He's got the window edited. He's using a little bit of third person to look out, see if he can spot people rotating, and that's high enough he might be able to sneak out. Yep, he can crouch walk out of that just barely and look for a shot. He's trying to sneak his way out. He's going to close it up. These players closing their gates behind him because someone could sneak in.
35 left.
And you're starting to see a lot of these chambers built up, the roofs and the little 1x1 boxes, and the shots coming out. Max is just going to spam down these walls, gets Sinful, caught right at the wall, secures his first elim, and you see peeking out the top of the triangle, the top of his little building. He's trying to watch for more rotations. He did just hear an explosion just before that, so there might be somebody else still out there. More elims primed for the picking. Right at the edge, Jota taking the launch pad in. He's going to try and find somewhere an unoccupied location. Vivid, Shido, Powder. You have tons of players still boxed up inside Salty. It's still, there's just so much pressure from that side that maybe escaping early, like you saw there, it's a good call. And Crypto goes down in the feed. You saw to SMG spray from Landjack now right in front of Punisher, front left. You've got boxes building up, front right, boxes building up. Players, it's almost like they're nesting here, waiting for just the right time. And the reason being is they're inside the safe zone. Use the brick, get yourself a good structure in the window edit as Punisher is trying to make his way away, kind of building some catacombs, closing himself inside. Going for edit, see it.
Extending that out.
Edit, quickly build an extension. Edit, quickly build an extension to try and give more room to move, more safe zones essentially for himself, where he still has vision out on other people and can maybe third party if a push happens.
72 hours still in this one. He's playing at the bottom mountain, and yeah, that's about as use.
Look,
I'm getting. You want to know the information I get from that graphic? There's a lot of people
left. There's a ton of people left. 30 left in this zone. The zone is moving into. This is the last time it closes before it starts to move. So things are about to get hectic on these rotations.
This is actually more players than even are normally left in this scenario in competitive matches, which are already kind of above, but. This is a lot of people trying to play for this late game. Hey, I haven't gotten many limbs. I need to get top 10.
People are looking for ranking now to get their points to try and secure for the remainder. Because after this one, there's 2 more games left today.
And I think that this happens because top 10 earns the points.
Yeah.
I think this would be different if it was like a point for top 5, or even if it was only the kind of the top, like third gets 1, second gets 2, first gets 3.
People can land in top 10,
because you can get top
enough.
10 and earn 1 point. So many people change their game plan to, I just need to get 1. And that's why we're seeing so many of these structures just built on up.
A little peek shot from Zayt on Nate Hill, who's built up in a 1x1 as well. And safe play isn't necessarily slow play. You have to keep in mind, these players, they're used to watching for rotations. You see top of the hill and engagement happening up there. Punisher's watching from a distance, trying to check to see if anybody is hanging out in this single box, and there is somebody in there. The turbo build saving him, just holding down left click with the build out. But they wait for these rotations. They look for opportunities to eliminate, because with this many competitive top skill players, it's not about who is necessarily better, but it's about who makes a mistake first. because they play for perfection. A lot of them, they know exactly when to move and where to move, depending on the loadout. They know what their opponents are going to do, and so they also know exactly when a mistake happens. You see your Landjack is looking for a third party and somebody that's just outside the zone.
So for everybody at home right now, with 25 seconds until this next zone moves, because it's, excuse me, because it's one of the first ones where half of it is out of play, expect to see players drop like flies here. And you can already see people inching on up, not using any build, just trying to kind of sneak between all this.
Here we go. A look at the elimination leaderboard from now. 6 players from this match right now. Even with 2 eliminated, 6 players from this match already have 1 point. Jack, Nate Hill, Fugues, Top Boy, Haste, Farika, and Mars Cities. We've been watching Landjack quite a bit here because his play, his edits, and his positioning have been exceptional. Yep. You see he's inside the safe zone right at the edge already. Prodigy Ace is pushing away, and the bounce pad to get in, flying over the top of both of them. They're essentially building the same path on top of each other.
Yep.
You saw Jax drop down in the back. He might be looking for elimination here, trying to push in on a
He's already
player.
got 4. This would be for 2 points at 5+ elims. He's made it into the zone, but he's got no materials. He's got to win an engagement here. He knows it. He's going for it all. This is kind of an all-risk play right here. Can he get the victory?
Well done. Ashton goes down to Jack's drum gun, the shotgun.
And look at what he's rewarded with, Lupo. Shield.
600 plus
600 plus wood. He had to do that. He had no choice. And not only does it earn him another point, but it earns him a chance to win this game. And now he's dead. I'm going to stop complimenting people.
You need to stop it, Jack. You've lost 2 players so far. Alliance Powder getting the third-party elim there.
I feel so bad, but I don't at all.
And the third-party shots there. Lassie's looking up top. Top Boy literally on top of the competition. He's already in a safe spot for the next push. He has the best position right now in terms of elevation. He's right next to the next zone. Yep. He can move whenever he wants. His loadout is even, for this late in the game, his loadout is fantastic. 350 wood, 300 brick, 130 metal. He can build a ton of surfaces. He's got the blue drum, a legendary.
He doesn't have a lot of ammo.
Barrel.
He does not have a lot of ammo to spray with.
With this few players left, or with the storm moving, I should say, too, he doesn't necessarily have to use the ammunition if he goes for placement. Yeah. He can let people take each other out. You see, this is the time. Especially, look at the way that the circle is moving up the hill. People have to move up. You're going to see.
Watch the loss in the storms. Already 2 have dropped for the storm, and I don't think that'll be the end of them because the verticality adds a whole nother level. People are going to drop like flies here. From 20 players remaining, now down to just 13. It seems like the rest of everyone has made it on in, but I mean, they are all within inches of each other.
Mac actually goes down to the storm. Last second there, that's 12 left. 2 more players go down, and then everyone that's remaining gets 1 point. 1 more goes down to the storm. Well, the storm is still claiming players. 27 seconds left to the next move.
Reminds me of week 1 of the skirmish.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, KL.
The storm still here. It's going to move to the top of the hill still. And actually, that shot you just had was the direction that it's moving. So it's moving from builds to builds that are already there. And Nate Hill here, player from FaZe, down at the bottom. He's bandaging. He actually got the med kit, the med kit off in the
last second. Look at this.
Looking around. He has quite a bit of medium ammo left, 210 shots. Unicorn's flying across, looking to make it into the next storm. Builds as he's flying, tries to establish himself.
Did
Looks like he just knocked
fall down?
He just fell off the map. Top Boy getting tagged up, building the floors, trying to build himself a layer, but he hasn't double layered any of this. So if somebody looks up and starts to take some shots, or maybe sees where it's connected, he could get dropped early. Caro's looking back, editing himself through, trying to look for just sneak one shot in, but he cannot build. He's got 5 wood, 2 brick, and he goes down. 2 more lost in the storm. 8 players remaining, which means everybody that's left on your screen, as you see them, they're getting at least 1 point from game 2.
Yep. And now the next question comes in: who will make it to our top 3 to earn themselves another point, and who will keep that victory royale? Look at this blue tee all the way up top. He's just looking for free picks. When you're in the scenario, you have no intentions of dropping down unless someone forces you. He doesn't have a lot of metal left.
He's in a good spot for the next circle, though.
He is very, very close. And now he's going to actually get a little bit closer for a shotgun engagement.
Free fire the rocket, try and shoot. He tried to shoot back behind where there wasn't necessarily a wall to get some splash damage in on this player that's built in underneath him.
Oh, he wants this a limb now,
He does. It'll put him at 3.
Yep.
Plus, it'll put him to 5th place, and he's going to get it. That's 2 points in 1 shot there.
Yep. And now he's 1 more placing away from another point. which would put him at 3 this game. This is a brilliant performance right now from Blue Team. We're in our top 4 again in time.
The next circle, this is the one that closes all the way down. So players that have HP healing remaining and gets caught off guard by Nate Hill, sneaks inside and gets the Elim, puts him at 6. The second one on Powder, 2 HP remaining. Are you kidding me?
Nate
1v1.
7 elims this game, and there he goes!
Goes down to Blue T. What a finish. Nate Hill playing absolutely out of his mind that game, but Blue T secures the Elim.
He's fired up. You can see he was just hyped to get 7. At that point, yeah, he's counted up. He's counted up. I think he just made a gesture of, I believe that was what, 5? He got top 2, just +2, 7. Yeah, Nate just got 5 points for that game alone, folks. What a brilliant position. That was the final moment there from Blue T as well. So he had multiple limbs too.
Blue T taking on the win, and
both.
excellent timing on the push there to get in there on Nate, and just trading shots back and forth. Nate's aggressive gameplay there at the end, knowing that people are going to be lacking on HP, knowing that right now, in that moment, everybody's kind of stuck in a panic state because the zone's about to close. So he says, no, I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to heal fight this. I'm getting the Elims.
I'm learning more and more why everyone is rocking the double barrel shotgun.
Oh, it hits like a bus.
It hits like a bus when you're in those final scenarios where it's literally everyone in 1x1s. It's like, guess what? Where it's weakest from range, when literally we're all hugging each other, it's going to be quite good. And Nate showed it right there. Those last 2 elims coming in quite quick. What a power play from him to not only get top 2, 7+ elims. We've got a quick look at a lot of his elims from this one. We'll go ahead and bring that up for you folks at home. Again, recently signing to FaZe Clan, making waves already here in day 1 of the final week of the Summer Skirmish. A monster game from him.
This was earlier, the kind of cat and mouse between him and Enigma at this little like cave structure out here, and he catches him off guard. Enigma trying to build and save himself and just wasn't fast enough. Nate sneaking up on C9 Blind, another excellent player, but the drum gun, incredibly powerful. The fast build there, he built the ramp and then another ramp to just kind of close him out. And at that point, top down, Blind has to make a move, and Nate just waits for the timing. Just waits to the right second, takes a shot and gets it. Looking for Elim number 4, and the snipe, 86 meters. X is caught off guard, looking to third party himself, and Nate says, no, I got this first. The shot on Saint.
I mean, that's like 160 damage he's hitting right there.
It's so powerful up close and late game in these competitive matches, like you were saying, because everybody gets stacked on top of each other. There's a lot of close up. Everybody's trying to hug, and if you have that double barrel, especially the legendary, it hits so hard.
It's quite good. So we've seen so many people putting up big numbers. We also had Haste Farico in that game, get some nice elims there. We'll take a look at these clips as well. Trying to show some love to everyone participating here in the final week of the Fortnite Summer Skirmish.
That's really accurate long-range shots right of the last shot on Boss, just barely pulling it off. As you're saying, there's so many skilled players here. It's going to be tough to see everything. Fast edits from everybody. Everybody landed shots, really good pushes, including llama transitions.
That's the best transition I've ever seen in history of sports.
I wish I had that.
Yeah, I need that. Yeah, can we actually take that for our own broadcast?
I think we can. It's got to be the contract.
Either way, I don't think it is, but hey, let's go for it anyway. Again, the rule update that we keep mentioning. Tonight's match is going from 6 matches to 4, so we're halfway done with the action so far up to this point, and already we're seeing some of those people pushing towards the top. Again, top 33 from tonight qualify for Monday's grand final. We have more replays, though. These from Blue T, who won that last game, earning himself a +3 for the Victory Royale. And I think he got enough, too, for some elim bonus as well.
We'll have to see here towards the last clip how many eliminations he actually came away with. But really accurate shots, takes Fugues out, who at that moment was actually leading in eliminations. Yeah, that's got to feel good. He might not know that that Fugues had the most, but that's big. That's a big play. You see here, he's got 3 elims already on top of the win. It's going to put him at 4, but it's not enough to push him to the 2-point elim bonus.
Actually basically elimed himself there because he had to move with the zone.
He did.
Shot out his own wall, and wow, look at the extreme joy that came from Blue T. He's a pro.
Confident.
He's good. He's like, oh, I won another game of Fortnite. I have a ton of those.
Another day in the office, Jack.
Right. And meanwhile, I'm winning my 1400th game and getting up and dancing like an idiot.
You played way too much Fortnite, Jack. I got to be honest with you. I'm right there with you. Don't worry.
No, don't worry. It's fine. You can never play too much, but either way, the action incredible so far. What's standing out for me? Double barrel shotguns, the late game build fights and quick edits.
Oh, yeah.
And again, we haven't actually seen as much third partying as I would have thought in a lot of these battles because they're kind of ending so quick with the shotguns.
Players are choosing, I think, to wait till later because you get the points just for placing, and so they're favoring placement gameplay over maybe potentially aggressive.
Yep.
Waiting for those chances, and those last circles they're deadly every time you're seeing, and especially this one. The storm position was such that players had to move up a hill.
Oh, yeah.
And last second movement like that, especially if you're forced to climb, it's going to be punishing if you don't move early. We saw that a lot of people went down in the storm. Maybe the storm being one of the best players in the game, Jack.
They've been racking up the points. Unfortunately for them, Storm can't win, thankfully.
They can't place.
Either way, we've had incredible action so far tonight. We're just halfway done with the action. We're going to go to a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, games 3 and 4.
Don't go anywhere.
to you, Beck.
I'll
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live here from the Summer Skirmish. You might have caught the tail out of that. Lupo and I have a little discussion.
A lot of really notable players here. Some of the larger or even the largest names staying at home afraid, but that's just that's just the way of the road, dude.
Who are you talking about?
I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe you could pon and we'll find out.
We love you, Tyler. We just saw your tweet. Again, everyone watching, hundreds of thousands watching online, a bunch here live at PAX, having a blast. This is just day number 1. We still have 2 more games to go tonight, and we'll keep you guys up to date on where everyone stands later on. But for now, we're going to be hopping right into the action here momentarily. All things considered, though, so far, games kind of acting as I thought. I will say, quite surprised with how intense these endings are. Even with normally how stacked with players it is already, like 20 players left for the final zones. We were seeing like 40 left for the final 2 zones.
An extremely high count versus even versus previous Summer Skirmish weeks. And it's the combination of maybe the ranking, landing top 10 gets you points. On top of that, $1.5 million. And if you make it to the grand finals, $5,000 minimum prize. You can't blame them, Jack. You can't blame them.
You can't, and we're ready. That's a sign of game number 3 about to be underway. The battle bus has launched. Let's get on into it. We know Struggs took game 1, Blue Team with game 2. Who's coming out on top in game number 3?
It puts them in really good positions. Like you said, the top 33 from each of these qualifiers gets in the grand finals. So some of these players, we might not even realize it, but players like Blue Team, Nate Hill, Struggs, they've already accrued enough points that they might be good to go. The point being, though, you can't get comfortable. You're going to see people that are still going to they're going to maintain the way that they played in previous matches. They're still going to drop into POIs that are maybe a little less populated. They're going to go for safe gameplay, and we're going to see that, I think, over the course of all of this. People are going to favor third party. People are going to favor safe gameplay. Try and build up a big arsenal of materials. You see on your screen, Tilted already looking maybe one of the hottest drops in Tilted we've seen thus far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players there. And up here, Pleasant Park, it's Pleasant Park for a reason, Jack.
Yes, it is quite pleasant right now with only a couple players. Blue T, I think, again, landing at this house, a very similar location. Again, I referenced it earlier. This is where I actually landed for the E3 Pro-Am. But back then, this was a completely different area to loot because they had the crater still there, which obviously the map has been updated. And at the crater, there was like 3 or 4 chest opportunities. So there was more loot in that area. Now you kind of go there and you can still get a ton of wood. There's multiple mushroom spawns. And it's kind of one where you're like, I get one big house that's got a couple chests in it and hope that after that and the wood I have will be enough to kind of carry me through the start.
Now, in competitive matches, rotations are a very, very big part of putting yourself in a good position. And that term is basically what path do you take, where do you go, how do you play it to put yourself in a good position for the follow-up circles and where other players are going to be trending to move from. And Blue Tee, the winner from last round, landing at that house, at that point, with a position in the circle, moving into Pleasant, not necessarily the best choice. You see you're getting caught off guard. This is that Tilted is going to be hot. But Blue Tee, we'll see as this match plays out where he moves. That gameplay, that movement, if you're trying to improve your gameplay at home, that's going to be something to watch.
I believe Dremin wants Dimes, who is completely weak behind that wall, and that's a brilliant stink. That might eliminate him. That's how weak he was.
5 HP. It takes 5 HP, and that's all he needed.
And Dimes right now, I can tell you, he's not happy.
Doubtful.
He's probably saying words that I can't say on broadcast to himself right now as Dremin's going to continue to hunt.
He's still not alone here. At least 2 other players, I believe, are in this area. There's one to the west, there's one to the east, and one to the north around this area. Now, Vivid is somebody that we've been talking about a lot, and this is early game. Vivid goes down 95th, and
sheesh.
That means next game he's gonna pop off because that's who he is. Snood gets eliminated by Zate, an excellent player. The jump there and shot from the AR gets a headshot. I believe that was 76 damage. Back up here in Westworld, Karath's kind of looking around. He's looking to get a single shot.
And one thing I do want to point out just for everyone at home as this fight goes down, we'll go ahead and let this conclude, and then I'll get into what I was going to bring up. Is you see players trading damage right now. Dremin trying to stay alive. There's the quick headshot. Bye-bye Carrots. And there's a golden legendary assault rifle for you as a reward. Dremin already 2 elims. This could be the 3rd right here if he can somehow take down Crypto, and it won't happen. But the point I was going to bring up, tiebreakers will be determined in the following order. total victory royales, total eliminations during the event, average placement across the games, and then finally a coin flip. So the big thing is the elims during the event, during these qualifiers, versus the average placement. You just saw that 95th for Vivid with 0 elims is not going to help him in either way in those tiebreakers where, remember, top 33 move on. But again, not everyone's going to have points, so it could come down to 15, 20 people who have 0 who are trying to move on through.
Because of the tiebreakers, that means that even if you don't get enough eliminations to secure a point, playing for a solid, even just one, can mean the difference between making it in or not. Because if you have a large number of players that are tied for 33rd, 1 or 2 eliminations could decide whether or not you squeak through to the next round. Hysteria in the feed, sniping Cosmo, who we followed last game in a couple cat and mouse engagements, a 22-meter snipe, but this is back in tilted. Wait, so one of these players is going to wait for a third party. Lavish actually might be too far away in the top of the gray building, up here in Junk, way in the northwest corner. Freak trying to get a few shots in. The build fight coming out. Cans himself in, or his opponent cans him in with a floor. He's going to try and build and counter and get up top. Goes for an edit and a peek shot.
Now Marksman for the third party. Marksman now dropped way, way low. He's trying to pop minis in time. Not going to happen.
I believe the third party might be Blue Tea, who pushed north potentially at this point.
No, it's Diabolic. It's Diabolic. And that's right now Marksman is so upset, but that's the way of the road. That's just how it works.
He's sneaking around. The audio cues again. He's trying to find where Freak went. That building, moving inside the building, and you see he might be standing at the top of something. Might be standing at the top of stairs there.
Yep.
Kind of between floors, waiting to listen for Diabolic's push, maybe choose which direction to go, or even just a bait play. If he has like a trap, he can wait for Diabolic to move inside, place the trap, and start engaging with a shotgun.
Trying to break on in. What will he spot? Freak is somewhere down here. Remember, the storm just began to push up, and they are out of the zone.
They're not terribly far, but it's far enough that you can't wait too long.
I'd love to if we can potentially just pull up the map for a second. And
that's the snipe.
That was the replay from earlier.
That was the replay from earlier. That shot from Hysteria, a very, very quick snipe.
I'd love to potentially bring up the map when we get a chance, when some of the action dies down for a moment, just to see how central this zone is. As Freak is going to go ahead and try to push the agenda on this engagement. Does he get the wall down? He does, but the player should just build above him. And Freak realizes it. Now he's going to try to fight for this high ground, but look at how high up his opponent is. Freak like he's got the high ground back.
Blocks his opponent out, who backs up. He's trying to go for
no.
Oh, man. The top-down advantage swap back and forth over and over again. These players always trying to outbuild each other, and they're so good at it. They keep swapping positions.
Ooh.
A ton of fall damage. Takes a shot. This Freak is going to try and hide underneath. He's very low on materials. 3 builds left from Freak. Diabolic has the top down and the shotgun out.
Look at this.
They're both popping slurps simultaneously.
The zone is there, folks. And there's the view of that map. Look at how central this zone is, Lupo.
Gets a little tap. They're tickling each other as they try and move inside the zone at the same time. Difference here, Diabolic has a ton of builds. A ton of materials left. He's going to go for this peek shot with the shotgun. And there it is.
What
Freak goes down.
Beautiful juke right there. Diabolic playing with his opponent there will go ahead and get that elim, and now he's got to immediately run. There is a rift area.
The Easter Island head out there that he runs into. A number of those spawn around there.
So he should have some opportunities to rift out.
He's lucky enough in one's there. He can make his way in with a rift. If not, I think the distance is coverable still. That he can get all the way in. Right now, the scoreboard, by the way, Nate Hill's the only player left alive with 2 eliminations. Dremen had 2, but he's been eliminated early. So Nate's in a good position. Second from last game. Blue Tea is still out there moving around. Jack actually just picked up his 2nd elimination as well. The view here. Here's a Diabolic.
He did get the rift.
The rift, as we were saying, that's the position that you want to be in. The rift changing his approach big time. The southeast corner here, Kayun looking around in a kind of a tight 1v1. Right at the edge of the zone, potentially third partying.
Yep. Just looking for anything here.
Somebody's just hanging out in the open.
120 damage pop and just a quick little reset. As you see, people already playing the edge of the zone. Zate
just waiting. Chances are at this position, he was waiting. He heard his opponent or potentially ran into him right before that. He's even triangle building himself in to prevent his opponent from doing so and quickly editing through as he moves up. The defensive builds, that right now seems like the big, it's the game changer between an extremely good player and a scary good player. His opponent actually built up a ramp.
That's all he can build. He's out of builds. Look at how awkward this is right now for Salt. He's still got a ton of HP though, and he's going to look for a reset of the fight. He's very low on ammo as well. This is another one of those scenarios, Lupa, where Salt has to win this. This is an all-in fight. If he like disengages, what does he have to his name? Some SMG ammo? No way.
You even see there, he forgot he ran out of materials. He tried to build to protect against Zate's push, and it wasn't enough.
That was just, it's your hand is forced. When you've got that little, it's like, I have to fight this guy, because if I leave this, I can't build. I have no ammo to shoot people. I have to take these materials. And unfortunately, it doesn't work out for him there.
Interestingly enough, too, right before the cutaway from Zate, he had almost no materials on his own. So at that point, a push from both players was the only option, or they run away from each other, which in a situation like that, especially a top-down advantage, it's not going to happen. Johnny here looking down to try and take advantage of maybe a weakened opponent underneath him. He doesn't realize Huckle Guy almost half of Johnny's HP. The trap going out, kind of a protective trap just in case his opponent builds up underneath him, tries to sneak into a situation, or even a third-party push happens, which with the way that these players have been playing, kind of unlikely. I almost feel like some people can assume there won't be third-partying some of the time. A rift off in the back there, but Johnny is not worried about that right now. He's worried about this opponent, Huckle Guy, getting on top of him.
Oh, he just left.
And he said, no, thank you. I'm gonna head out here. You see on your screen, tons of players with 2 eliminations.
Wow.
Nobody has 3. No single point for elim count yet, but it's gonna happen soon.
Yep. A lot of people could tick forward with this one.
A lot of people very far from the storm too. One player even over 500 is amazed. EU amazes. 560 meters from the storm, the next circle. He has a long way to go, and it looks like a lot of these players do. That means that people are going to start running into each other on the move.
Yep.
And they won't have structures built. There won't be a layer of safety there. So you're going to see a lot of, like we saw earlier, phase replays taking that shot on the move, the snipe shot while they were trying to push with the zone. That's going to happen in situations like this with so many players.
Here's an example of it right now. It's going to be KU and try to push on in. Watching their back for a second. They obviously don't have all the information we do.
All these players moving simultaneously.
It's a feeling where you're like, I won't shoot you if you don't shoot me. Like you're thinking in your head, like, please don't.
Gentleman's agreement.
Please
no,
don't.
Thank you. As we were just talking about replays. Lucky for everybody, he's not sitting on a sniper rifle right now.
Right.
But he still has a very powerful up-close loadout. Even that the Portafort can come in handy in very close 1v1 engagements where you need structure instantly. That thing builds tons of metal. Give you a top down on a player. Now, Dester, we watch.
This is an abysmal position.
It is a bad spot. He is
one
underneath.
Build. He has one build, and look.
The storm's
Papa
still moving.
Storm is there.
He's got to move. Duble's got to move. He does have a campfire. He doesn't necessarily have to move just yet.
He's playing for this one elim. And unfortunately for him, Diggy's above him still.
Now, I'm not even sure if Duble's playing for the elimination. In this situation, he had a slurp rolling and put down the campfire. He's playing for the storm to push his opponent away so he can move at just the right time. He doesn't necessarily have to engage, but he does need his opponent to leave. Otherwise, it might still defeat for him.
Oh, gosh. Diggy is at 4 elims right now, so this would be a 5th elim to earn 2 points this game. Diggy peeking. Does he decide to pop the medkit? It doesn't appear so as of yet. He wants this fight. I think he's worried about his opponent potentially dropping the storm down to just 16 HP. The build-up.
It's too late to pop that medkit. He's got to go for the elimination.
Look at how quick. Oh,
he gets it the last second.
The trap elim, and there he goes. Diggy with 5 elims in the last moment. A brilliant trap there to earn the final point.
He opted to die to the storm, get the 5th elimination for the 2nd point instead of healing.
That man was doing that all on a controller.
Absolutely mind-boggling.
Are you kidding me?
Top of Dusty here, Ashton built up.
They've watched a lot of Nick Merckx, I can just tell.
Oh, yeah. It explains why he dropped tilt. Actually, I don't know if he dropped tilted all the time.
Just made that up.
If you watch too much.
It explains why he's flexing his trap muscles.
Exactly.
There you go.
Ashton moving off of Dusty. This situation there, he's pretty far, maybe one of the furthest players from the zone because you see there on the screen the position. The number of players, there are actually not very many on the west side, almost nobody in the northwest corner, but the south side is, because it's the circle is so far north-northeast, the south side of the zone, if you're down there, you're in a bad spot. Early move is going to be, in my opinion, better. You get into the safe zone quicker, but you see there around the tunnel, the map just a second ago, there were a lot of players built up in that area, which means third partying is going to be heavy if you're moving in from the south. Maybe early movement, it should be running through everybody's mind.
Yep.
Get in the zone, get safe, and you can join on the third party, party, as they say. I don't think they say that, but
I think I've never heard that, but I like it.
not a single time. We're starting it now,
Whoa,
Jack.
look at the inventory now for Top Boy. Got the shotgun swap, the SMG spray, jug,
A launch pad. Over 1,000 material, 1,200 material. He's got a ton of build. Top Boy's in a great spot.
He wants his build early.
Looks like a build fight. His opponent right there, kind
And
of
this is a sign
away.
of an opponent that they're not looking for a fight.
Nope.
Even though Animal still has that much health, he can almost play mind games. If you're Top Boy, you're thinking, wait, this guy's playing extremely defensively. I'm thinking he doesn't have much health, right? Meanwhile, Animal's full HP. He's more than ready for a fight.
Top Boy maybe making the decision here and say, okay, you can stay down underneath me. I'm going to sit at the edge of the circle and play safe, get some more material, because just a moment ago he was at 800. He burnt almost 300 material just in that engagement, just pushing over the top of Animal, who is an editing machine underneath, making sure that he's safe, as many layers between him and Top Boy as possible. The speed of these edits, man, just blows my mind sometimes.
It looks like he just turned his head, but instead he also edited his ramp to reset. Like, okay. And right now, most eliminations. Diggy we saw with 5 earlier on. Ironically enough, the longest elimination is from Salt at 173 meters.
Wow. 40 plus minutes. The dance moves from Top Boy, is that almost a taunt?
I think so.
Saying, I'm up here and I'm not leaving. We're roommates now.
That's a statement.
Ashton, a lot of players right here, Jack, we've seen that a ton of times. What's the point of that kind of building? Right there, building the surface above you. Why do these competitive players do that?
It's simple. Cover. He sees these 1x1s right next to him. He sees these players in these little towers. What are they going to do? They're going to shoot down on you. So how do you protect yourself? You build yourself a roof. Simple as that. Asha now looking for the reset. He wants to move early. He's going to land right on this player at the temple.
It's wall now. He's going to build more of those layers above the cover. And then he put himself in a safe spot. He's bunkered down in tomato
He's kind of taking a breather, right? He just did so much movement. He's going to reset for a second, kind of get his foothold, look around, see who's in his surroundings. I think it's also key to stop and just listen. Where are fights happening? Where can I potentially third party? Like this, for example. Building those windows, it gives you an idea that he's kind of thinking, okay, I'm looking to shoot someone in the back, maybe pick up a free limb. Because he only needs one more limb to earn a point.
Yeah, he's watching through. These players, they'll do an edit and they'll reset immediately because as especially with the brick, as the bricks are filling in the gaps, you can see through what hasn't been filled in as the HP fills up.
Yeah.
And so he might not be editing, but he's still looking through, trying to watch for opponents on rotation, see if it's an opportune time to stick his head out and take some tap fires at people. Severin moving right now, trying to get in the zone early. He's staying underneath people. Doesn't realize, yes, Brandon is right above him. He's got a number of other players that he's moving underneath. I think at this point, you can almost assume at least 3 people are above you no matter where, because there's 36 people left and the next zone is closing. This is the last one. Jack Ford starts to move, and that's where we're going to see big waves of eliminations, players putting themselves.
And it's still
really
another northeastern zone.
Yep.
You see that? People still having to move up to that northeast.
Top Boy and Animal still both alive, still both moving basically in the same cadence right now as they're trying to get in the zone. Uh-oh. Here we go. The switch of position. Animal's now above Top Boy. Actually, that's not Animal. Basuji has moved in above Top Boy, trying to get into maybe a last-second elimination as the zone's closing in here. And they're both outside the zone. They're going to have to make a move here. Basuji decides to move up. He's getting a shot from that might be Animal above.
He's not getting third parties. He's getting 7 partied. Literally everyone is shooting at him right now.
30 people and half the lobby is unloading medium rounds on whatever he builds.
And apparently he's still alive.
Somehow, you see he's got Basuji roughly 30, 40 HP. Top Boy and Animal now fighting it out yet again. It's like Wailing Woods rematch.
28 players remaining. Here's Lavish earlier on.
Gets Johnny inside Tomato. Down underneath, a spray from the SMG.
And can you tell what side of the zone we're on? All these people stacked? Yeah, this is where they had just moved in from the far end of the zone. Povsey, who we saw with the awkward bounce pad play earlier,
You'll see
he's actually already in the next zone area.
You'll notice he's not carrying any bounce pads this time.
He
either.
saw them earlier, just dropped them on the ground.
No, thank you. A lot of top-down play. Punisher in a really good spot, but remember, the top of these buildings right now is not necessarily the biggest advantage. We've seen a lot of crazy plays from underneath. You can have people that will capitalize on your build if you're very high. They'll use explosives to drop your structure down and catch you off guard as you're falling in. Those eliminations are big too, because you take people out of their towers, you reset structure, and that means that you can decide what to build there if you take that position. They could be in really good spots. These players are gonna have to move northwest here.
That was 3. That's 3 for phase replays, putting him at 1 point this game.
A replay from earlier, a replay of replays from earlier. See that? Oh my gosh, the shotgun shot on Kayun. What a play there. 26 left. Punisher is in a wonderful spot right now. But the number of players underneath, Psalm, Nogops, DMO, Vide. You have so many people here.
Sitting patiently waiting. He's got to move so far. Top Boy's going to definitely use his launch pad here. Almost certainly. There it goes.
Moving into the zone now. He's got to decide where to go, and that's going to be rough. There are a lot of structures here, and nowhere is safe.
Except for
maybe right there, the one spot that he could build. Even then, and here you go. Like, everybody's trying to move in right now. These builds just put up as many layers as they can. Animal's moving into the bounce pads. He still has 2 left, so he can make a play. He can make a push. And Turkey Lips trying to get the third party from the top of the building, taking those the purple AR tap fire shots.
Every player with 3+ elims has been eliminated.
They're shot.
Turkey Lips
getting his 3rd elim there. That gives him a point for this round. Saint going down outside of that. And Animal gets eliminated as well. Turkey Lips securing that one. That's his 4th elimination. One more will put him at 2 points, Jack. But he's got to take a second here to heal.
Yep.
And hopefully nobody heals
look at that. He's the only player still in contention with eliminations. Try to push towards that top 10 to earn another point as well. One more limb would net him another point. Turkey Lips, someone we got to keep an eye on in this game as it continues to develop. No heals, though, for his HP.
Trying to build up a little, the back out to jump and ramp so he can get up on top.
What a shot that is.
The top right corner of your screen, the top center, every edge except for the south side. Povsey might be in the best position of everybody because there's nobody around him. He can wait.
He's just chilling at the moment. Turkey Lips still in this building. He's so frantically hoping, Lupo, that someone just peeks too far that he can get a free shot on.
He's trying to take advantage of this too. All these different structures going up, and he has 1 grenade left. You got to make this one count.
I don't think it didn't happen. Morgoth eliminates Diabolic. Vide eliminates Nikiski.
The storm starts to move. That bottom right corner, tons of players are going to be forced into engagements with each other. 12 left, 2 more
Amaze
go down.
Gone. That was Turkey Lips with another limb. He's earned himself 2 points. Look at the edits. He's lost the high ground. Turkey Lips making monster plays right now. He's got players in front of him again.
It's like Punisher has basically 0 HP. All he needs to do is breathe on him funny and gets another elimination. Punisher actually goes down to Brandon, and everyone moving in there. But right now, what's funny, everybody was forced north, and now they've moved south.
He's getting trapped. Oh, what
Are you kidding me, dude?
Oh no, Turkey Lips! What a play! Uses that new double barrel to blow up that wall in front of him, and just like that, he says, Povsey, my friend, no. That ain't happening. Gets the high ground, and now he's looking for the retake in this engagement. What a play to dodge the trap.
9 players left. Everyone that's left alive now has at least 1 point.
That launch pad looks so juicy.
Just outside the zone. I would bet you in this situation, Psalm will push with that and utilize it.
The zone's going to push that way.
He's in a great spot for it. He's going to get there ahead of everybody else. Here it comes.
He can wait and then use that at the last second. Watch. Boom. High ground.
Fly with it.
He might hit it again.
Come back. He's trying to get ahead. He does realize somebody's there. Doesn't know that it's 72 hours. Now Brandon's using it. That might be one of the most used launch pads in this game.
With 6 limbs. How has he done this with just 70 HP? No!
Getting caught outside the zone. The tick, and he died.
Earned himself another point, though, for top 10. Yep. Povsey now on the high ground. Building on up. Top 5 players now. Povsey in the top 5. Needs 1 more limb to earn a point, though, for eliminations this game.
Shots down below. He knows at least 1 player's trapped inside there. kind of trying to poke a little bit, maybe get a reveal on somebody and see if he might even be able to provoke.
That's not held up by a lot. That's not held up by a lot at all.
The majority is outside the zone too, so he won't be able to build and reinforce it. If somebody sees that, they can take him all the way down, but he's going to move before we even get to that point. He wants to get involved with these fights. There's a chance that he could get a third-party kill on somebody that's not watching. It's elimination and
no mats.
72 hours down.
Look at the rest of his inventory though. Look at the med kit, the chug jug.
Dual drum guns.
That's all you need, I guess.
72 hours probably looking to play for the very last circle to close, but having no builds remaining is going to be really tough. There is somebody inside there, the drum gun. Hold down that left mouse click and see if he can knock in. Move around the outside. He's going to try and make a play. A flank.
Are you kidding me?
72 using the storm to hide and gets the elimination on Psalm.
1 versus 1. 2 players remaining. 72 hours trying to stay alive. He's got no builds left. It's Brandon who's close. Only 31 HP. If this goes down to a heal fight, 72 hours wins it. Without a case, but there's the engagement trying to build on up. A quick shotgun blast. The second comes in as well. Brandon down to just 54 HP. 72 hours. Popping minis. The zone's closing on in. He's got to go for this right now. Brandon dropping on in. 72 hours into the zone. Oh, are you kidding me? With 3 HP. And the spray of the drum gun wins the game and earns those final points.
72 hours shows why he's one of the best players out right now, making the choice earlier before this engagement to push on the storm. And yet again, spraying that drum gun, man, comes in clutch every time.
He used 2 drum guns. His whole inventory was 2 drum guns.
Healing and drum guns, it's all you need, Jack. If 72 hours knows how to utilize, especially those positional plays. He doesn't have any materials, wasted the last second. The rotate outside through the storm. Yeah, I'm going to take some damage, but look at my inventory. I've got a med kit, I've got a chug jug. I don't care. I can push for this elimination, and he got it.
Pushes into that zone. To recognize the build and to think, yes, it's worth me going in and taking 20+ points of damage to then get the flank on my opponent, get that free limb. Remember, he had 0 build left. So what did he do? He fell to the low ground, made sure there was no traps, fought in those close walls. He was worried about pushing on in, because if he pushes in, his opponent places a wall, he places a trap on that. There's a lot of things he can do to catch him off guard. What a play at the end from 72 hours. But he wasn't one of the only stars in that game. Turkey Lips went off as well, Lupo. 6 elims for him. Just fell short, literally, of that 7th elim.
Including this snipe there on Axis as the storm's starting to close in. He secured a number of eliminations on players that were caught totally off guard because his position, his awareness of their position, right there, another one, a maze getting stuck inside a box as the storm is moving. He's playing intelligently. He's playing for an advantageous position of his opponents. And even right there, watching for when Sofa wasn't looking before he knocked the surface out, smacks it out and switches the shotgun and gets another one.
It's so well done because we saw that entire time he had, I believe, a max of about 75 health.
That was it.
And still got all those limbs because he knew the exact times he needed to peak. He didn't get overly aggressive. Brilliant plays there from Turkey Lips, someone who I faced off against a bunch. And by the way, also great guy. Absolutely great guy. Met him in the airport. Cool dude. 72 hours, we got more highlights from you, my friend. We've been talking a lot about you. Let's show everyone how you did it. That was the elim on the Sinful. Pops into the storm, and this is one of the smartest plays I've seen so far.
Moving, especially when your opponent is distracted in another engagement, moving outside the storm, these top players are going to use their HP even as a currency. It's sort of in a way to say, you know, it's a resource. I've got materials, yeah, but I also have hit points that I can use to survive outside the storm where players aren't necessarily looking. And right there, knowing exactly where his opponent is going to be and spraying at the corner as they were trying to build, trying to defend themselves, and it was not enough. And he takes game 3 home.
And what I love right there is kind of the camaraderie that's been built now in the competitive Fortnite scene. Those were 2 players from 2 different teams, all competing in a solo thing there. But everyone knows just how much it is to win in that final scenario. You see there, you know, I believe, is that what, C9 and Liquid? 2 different players from 2 different teams, you know, getting together and still talking. They played a ton online, but even in that final moment, you know how tough it is to win a competitive solo like that, and then with the stakes that's here, you got to give them props right away.
The tension is incredibly high. The pressure on these players to perform, especially because right now, if you miss out on your chance, that's it. You got to make it in. Top 33 from these qualifiers go to the grand finals on Monday.
And we're going to have those people by the end of this next heat. One more game to play. At this point, if you have 0 points going into this game, Lupo, what is your strategy?
Safe play.
Okay.
You can wait for these opportunities. We saw from players like Turkey Lips that last game. Third party, take advantage. You don't have to play aggressive. Wait for other players to play aggressive. Wait for them to make the mistakes. We've been talking about Vivid a lot, and we have to wait for him to put on a good show in this last one. This is his chance to strike because you know he can do it. We've seen him do it countless weeks before this. He's won 4 of the 7 skirmish weeks, and so this last match might be the chance for him. Take advantage of position, play in just the right spots, go for it.
Ben, I've got some good news.
Tell me.
We have a standings update for everybody at home.
We have numbers.
We stand
Give them
after
to me.
the first 3 games. 72 hours with that victory. Royale moves to our top spot at 8 total points. Turkey Lips, 11 elims topping the boards at 4 total points as well. You see United's Jack in our top 10. But then as we move towards the bottom, 2 points is top 16. Remember, our top 33 move on to that finals on Monday. Sinful, 17th. Sofa in 20th.
Now, you see right there, 32nd is 3 eliminations, 1 total point. Jack, that means you come away with 3, 4, 5 eliminations this last game. That puts you into the grand finals. Anybody can still make it in.
Yeah.
Literally anyone that's playing in this next game.
That's such a good point.
It's crazy.
Anyone up to this point can still make it out, and that's the beauty of it. And guess what? If you're like, oh, 1 final game, I'm sad, don't worry, we're back again tomorrow. 4 more games to see who exactly can make it in as our next 33 players. So many big names participating as well. You know, people we haven't seen tonight that'll be here this weekend. We mentioned Myth earlier on.
He's on the way.
Tifu, if you've ever heard of him, he's okay. He's done okay before.
I've heard of him before.
So many big names. Just wait and see. It's going to be a ton of fun. Again, shout out to everybody who's been watching live. Shout out to everyone who's online. Show some love in the chat. Again, use that hashtag Summer Skirmish.
Tag us in clips online. We want to see the stuff that you guys have enjoyed the most from these events, even previous summer skirmishes, because this stuff, these are some incredible plays from incredible players, and there's situations that maybe won't come up again this week, but we want to talk about them. We got to talk about them. Duos, solos, everything. Yeah. Every little bit counts, Jack.
We've got our game 4 about to begin, but before then, we've got a little montage of some of the players that are here this weekend. Let's have a watch.
I've just played the game so much. I've been putting in minimum 10 hours a day for the past 5 months.
You came all the way from the UK just for this.
I put in over 12 to 14 hours a day every day. I want to win more than anyone here.
I'm confident. I beat some of the top guys all the time, so I just know I have what it takes.
I put the money maybe towards college and making this like a possible career for myself in the long term.
I just want to beat everyone else, just to know I beat them on the inside, so I can tell my mom. She'll be proud of me.
Jack, I'm proud.
Game 4, man, it's coming up. I'm so excited. I'm ready. The gameplay thus far has been it's been exceptional. Seeing these players, the decisions that they make, the positions that they put themselves in, man, I'm writing stuff down too. I got to take notes.
There's one thing I have after watching this, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't play.
Yeah.
For everyone that's been asking, I'm glad I'm casting.
Here we see in the feed, Courage JD going down from.
I'm guaranteed
like
to make money this weekend up here casting, and I have no pressure.
You can't lose,
great.
Jack. You can't lose.
No, but we've had a lot of fun so far. I hope you guys can tell. We should be getting into the game here momentarily. I'm looking 2, 1, I believe.
And away we go.
The bus is about to go. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 4, our final match of the night. Who will be our top 33 to qualify for Monday's $1.5 million grand finals?
Final week of Summer Skirmish, Jack, and here we go, game 4. Put some noise in the house here, please.
I like it, I love it.
As we fly in, you're going to see players starting to jump out. A lot of people jumping out very early, trying to look for a spread, maybe greasy, flush. You see people pushing across east and northwest immediately. every single POI, and even the locations that don't have a label on them, yeah, we have nicknames and stuff for them, but I feel like everywhere is hot right now. Yep. There's an even spread of players across the entire map, but that's not necessarily the case in every POI. Even last game we saw Tilted had a number of people drop in it very early. We've had some of these POIs that are larger, retail, and Pleasant have a couple players drop at them. And you see in your bottom right there, winner from last game, 72 hours, trying to decide where he's going to go.
Oh my gosh.
Tilted is heated. Retail is hot as well. You get to see people pushing across the Lonely Lodge.
Him and Vivid are actually very close to each other, which is kind of funny.
72 hours, looking for the underneath the tunnel drop. Potentially he's going to pop in the top here and drop down the stairs. Flowers from C9 and Tilted. There's about 15 other people here.
Oh, he didn't finish that big shield.
Did not.
So he'll have to reset, redo that. And there you see Tilted Towers. So here's the beauty, this building updating each week, Lupo. There's actually so many of these pallets on the bottom floor now.
You can come out here with so much wood.
Oh yeah, I mean, if he breaks all these pallets, he'll finish with probably at least 275, 300 wood.
You get the layer above too, you're sitting on maybe 500 to 600.
Oh yeah.
This is a spot that I've routinely dropped now, and a ton of players have dropped. Is that the new building, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Epic does with that.
Horfly's got literally one of every weapon.
He has every gun in the game right now, doesn't need the heals. He's looking for a bolt action shot, and maybe somebody that doesn't have shield
and his pink lunchbox on his back.
An early game bolt jack can mean really fast elimination secured. If you hit somebody, even a body shot, that's 105 damage. No shield, that's an elimination.
Yep.
And he's trying to spot anybody. There's
your zone.
The most aggressive third partying we're probably going to see, because he knows he can catch somebody off guard. That's points.
There's your look at your zone.
Even eliminations for tiebreaker.
That is true. The elims for tiebreaker are going to be, that's where all the nuttiness is going to come in.
Maze, the stink bomb. He doesn't realize Johnny's all the way down bottom of Maze. Yep. That stink is ineffective.
And that was key. He actually spotted the third party before they could get close.
Here, Flame and Povsy. The third party though, Flame gets a shot on Povsy, gets the elimination. He's got to immediately build and defend himself. Does not have a lot of build left though. No platform left.
He just ripped it to go. And Flame's going to try to follow us up and get out in time. Wow. So here's what just happened. That player rifted to go to try to get to the high ground. Flame then immediately dropped down, used that rift to go, and then I believe the player who originally used it didn't get back down in time to use it again to follow Flame. So Flame just had a free get out of jail free card, and he's going to reset to another area on the map.
Intelligent play from Flame there, following an immediate elimination too. Back over here in Salty, Prodigy Aces trying to sneak. He's going to track down a target or two underneath him. Shido is just waiting. Saint maybe pushing him to the third party soon. It looks like he might be over at the hunting lodge over there. Potentially, he's probably too far away, but it might not matter. Now over the bridge, this is between Risky and Lazy Lynx.
And there goes Lasius.
A very long-range grenade shot from up top.
Right.
Prodigy getting another elimination. Gets Shido underneath. This is who he was tracking, waiting to see if he could find them.
This is brilliant for him. This is going to put him at 196 hit points after he's all said and done using these shields as well as the cozy campfire. Soul trying to keep this high ground, a quick pump shot, having to swap to the silent pistol, not the best swap weapon, I can promise you that.
His alternative, though, was a hunting rifle. It's kind of his only option.
You never know.
he could swap out. There was an SMG right there in front of him as he moved into the bottom of that building, trying to kind of hide from Dremen, who the attack shotgun right now is going to be really key. You just left click over and over again, consistent damage if you're up close. Doesn't matter if it's gray or not, that thing could still hit like a bus if your aim is true.
See all the limbs so far. Soul has got himself up to just shy of 130 HP. Gonna go and pop that. Putting him at 123. Looking for a quick little peek. Dremen, look at how weak he is.
One
no
pump
shields.
Quick, Sour going for a flank. Gets it. Gets Dremen. The third party from Wheats. 66 meters. That might not have been a shot meant for him, but he took it midair.
And I just pointed out how much health he had, right? He was feeling good at 123 HP, because that's enough to save you from any bolt or hunting rifle shot. Well, guess what? Wheats had the heavy sniper rifle. The heavy sniper, the epic version, 150 to the body. as Weeds clips him right there. He's now earned himself all this loot. He's got a Rift to go. He's got minis. He's got 700 plus mats. Weeds in a brilliant spot.
No minis will save you from that heavy sniper, as you're saying. It's kind of the same position as the trap damage right now. Yep. 150 is more than what some players can. It's tough to buffer up against that. Even minis won't be enough. It's the Boogie Bomb.
What?
Nibs now dancing for his life.
Ripmate's got to go for this.
Pushing in, the shotgun gets him. A shield tag, 24-20. Can't land it, Nibs gets him. 17 HP.
I'm mad for him.
That shotgun, the body shot, not enough there to put him low.
He made the right play. He had to go.
As soon as
if you land a Boogie Bomb 5 seconds, you have to push that.
Unlucky shots from the SMG, and Nibs turned it around on him. 72 Hours, our winner from last round, sitting on 80 HP right now.
To be completely clear, no matter what happens in 72 hours in this game, the man's qualified for Monday.
Oh, yeah. He's good.
He's good. He is good. Sitting pretty in first.
Ooh,
he's done.
Landok gets the drop on him, but you don't come away from that upset.
No.
You look forward to Monday. You focus on what's next.
Absolutely.
Now back. Landok sitting on 2 eliminations. One more gets him a point from this round, the 4th round, the last round for these Grand Final qualifiers this evening.
Again, cannot be stressed enough. We are playing only 4 games for these late night qualifiers now. Rule change came in earlier on.
That applies to all 3 days.
Yes.
Been pleasant, some movement up there. This is the top left, the replay.
That was how he got to this point and earned himself the chug jug, the med kits, everything.
His kit right now looking exceptional. A green AR for like kind of mid to long range slow tap fire.
There's the rifts by the Durburger up here. He sees one just over that hill.
He might take a point or 2 of damage from the storm, but I mean the position that he's in right now is so good. He's going to be able to choose where he wants to go with a rift. He's not going to get threatened by anybody on his way in. There's nobody else there. Meanwhile, back at Tilted, it's still hot. Still players in here. I believe 4 at the moment. He's getting 3rd party from outside. Double says, I would like to get that elimination. Tries that blue hunting rifle. One of my favorite snipes, but sniper rifles in competitive matches early to mid game are fantastic, but you're going to see everybody, you're going to see people drop those typically. Maybe not the heavy snipe, just because that amount of damage and its ability to drop a surface in one shot. Players can use that aggressively. You can be point blank, quickly shoot out a wall in one shot and push in and swap to maybe a drum gun. The fall damage there, though.
And this was so smart. You see there, winds up, did he get the pyramid off? I believe he did.
The rocket giving out 90 HP remaining, does 110. Launchpad could not jump onto it. Federico gets the elimination before that escape, and it looks like Federico actually has the launchpad of his own now.
What Cerverso was doing that whole time was he was dropping down that structure to where there was only one area left that he could C4. Unfortunately, wasn't able to follow it up with the elim himself. This was Horrify. He used double C4s to eliminate his opponent in the new building in Tilted.
We're going for the shot.
Doable tried something fancy there. He's really looking for a quick little sniper.
It looked like a head shake of frustration at the end.
Call that an ogre twitch. Not really. It wasn't really an ogre twitch.
There's more. Those are circles. Yeah, circles. Somebody hiding on the stairs. Double's going to have to build up a couple layers there. 54 HP left. He still does have 2 minis, so he can get the most out of his minis, which he's going to do right now before the zone moves. He's got 1 minute and 10 seconds. With his player underneath him knows he just got a big shot. Probably saw the white damage number pop out, which means whether it was a maze or Horrified, depending on the position, they know that whoever's up top, they're not sitting pretty right now. So a push could happen.
Absolutely.
But third partying is still, I mean, you see on the map there's still 5 players in Tilted. 5 in that little area, and that's going to move soon. They're all going to run into each other because the push out to the river right there, Jack, it's super exposed. There's not a whole lot of coverage. You have to move across the river. Horrify goes down to a maze.
Maze did take a little bit of damage. Thankfully, he does have 1 mini to give him 25 more shield.
And just some information for players watching. Turkey Lips is the only player right now with 3 or more eliminations. He's sitting on 3, which means he's got 1 more point from this game alone.
And he's already with the most elims of the entire event so far in these qualifiers.
I believe this puts him at 14.
14 elims in we're only 3.5 games in. That is crazy. Absurd.
May's still making some moves out there at Tilted. There's still a number of players left, but back here in Salty, Alfan was trying to building up a resource buffer is what he's smacking the cars. Cars, one of the best metal resources in, one of the only metal resources in Salty, and even though he's sitting on a ton of materials, Jack, he wants more. Going for as many as possible is so crazy important. You see on your screen, by the way, Sofa, one of the winners of our heats from earlier today, has 3 eliminations as well. So that's a point for him too.
Yep. We talked about literally 1 point. 3 elims could mean all the difference. As 32nd coming into this game, 32nd had 3 elims and 1 total point.
Hysteria gets elimination on Regan 57, who's trying to build up, trying to keep himself protected, but it looks like the quick placement edit from Hysteria, that kind of angled wall, that's all it takes. Snood and Ashen pushing in above him as Hysteria's cleaning up the remnants of his opponent down there. Smacking it. You see a lot of players, if the material's not there, if the walls, the surfaces are not theirs, they're going to knock him out. And if he's trying to can himself up in there, he'll immediately replace him. Now, it looked like Hysteria's looking to pick up an elimination or 2 in there.
Yep. Now, I don't know if Hysteria actually has any points so far, but he has to load out this game to do it. And he knows that as well. He's got the launch pad. Look at the double, triple C4 coming on in. He is making it rain C4s, and Jack is frustrated. I can promise you that.
An excellent attempt there. Landjock has been playing exceptionally well. That gives him 3 points, or 3 eliminations, which is a point. Lavish. You notice he's just bandaging up. He's not building. He's not moving. The little stutter steps. He's waiting to see maybe where this opponent is. Try and catch him off guard.
It's Snood who's just in front. And look at how healthy Snood is at the moment.
You see the look. That's the look of determination.
He's not safe. He's got to move in with the zone.
He's going to have to move in. Next is another one of our players with 3+ eliminations, giving him at least point pop in the minis, give himself a buffer. He's in a good spot, though. He doesn't necessarily have to play overly aggressive. He doesn't have anybody in front of him right now, so the structure up top is safe. Looking underneath him, though, trying to find, is somebody hiding down there?
Wood at the ramp. Go ahead and grab that real quick. 412 more wood. This man has 700+ wood, 800+ brick, and maxed metal.
It surprises me, though, that he would shoot those rocket shots off like that. Typically, you see competitive players hold on to explosives until very late.
Really value them, yeah.
It can make a big, it's a change of momentum. If you have explosives versus somebody who doesn't, you decide when their structure comes down. You decide when they have to push and move. And shooting those 2 rockets, we'll have to wait and see if that was an intelligent decision or not. Was still one of the best players ever. I mean, all these guys are crazy good. Yeah. All these players are incredible. So chances are he'll probably run into some rock ammo at some point.
No, for sure. Now I'm quickly looking at my screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players already this game have earned themselves 3 elims, meaning they all have 1 point to their name, which, as we keep stressing, that literally is enough to potentially put you on the bubble to make it into our top 33.
Well, we saw earlier, even the top 32, 32nd had 1 point with 3 eliminations. Some of these players that you see in this game, this could be the deciding factor. Pushing to 5 elims could be, I mean, 2 points could be enough.
Yep.
It's enough to make him move.
Marksman slowly inching in, and every tree he goes to hit, he's trying to get some wood. Unfortunately, in these pro player-filled lobbies, all of these trees have already been just dropped to 50 health. So he's not really getting any mats from it. Oh gosh.
So he's got to edit himself out to try and get away from that before it ticks him. 5 HP a second in terms of damage is quite a bit when you're sitting on only 39. And Prodigy Ace is going to keep the stink bombs going. He's out now, but hopefully he got enough damage in there on Tristan. Maybe he can make a move soon. It looks like he's not going to. He's going to wait inside Salty. The fear, I think, of being third party when you're playing for rank right now is so high that they're not. You see a lot of players, they might get some damage tags, but if it's not enough, it's not substantial, they're not going to make a move.
Well,
he's built up a fortress right there, Jack.
Prodigy Aces just more than happy to play kind of gatekeeper.
He's looking through the slots of those wood, trying to watch for any movement outside.
He's just chilling at the moment. No reason to make anything happen. Alliance, Powder playing kind of close on that same gatekeeper area as well. Bolt knocking the bottom of that house, and then Tristan again hiding in those buildings, and here comes Morgoss.
Hopping his way in.
He's like, hey guys,
gonna take shots.
How's everyone doing?
This is what Prodigy was waiting for. Like I said, they're waiting for those opportunities. They look for the players, even just watching through the wood slide, saying, okay, somebody's gonna move down the street. Now's the time for me to take shots. Maybe even provoking somebody else to fire in too. Whether he gets the elimination or not.
Oh, Marksman just got exploded.
You have to consider, too, these players are always thinking, even if I don't get the elimination, if someone eliminates that target, that puts me closer to top 10, that puts me closer to a point and make it to the grand finals on Monday.
100%, 100%. With how many people are playing for that top 10 here, every little bit counts.
Snood taking power out with a shotgun. Rock's coming on Nibs. Shoots around that corner. Wow, the block out there at the last second wall, just preventing any damage from the Rocket.
At the high ground, and he's got Rockets on the high ground. Somehow falls down. He knocks himself down. This could spell disaster, and it does exactly do that. Oh, he's kicking himself for that one. Rockets himself down, breaks his own structure, which drops him below, and just like that.
Rocket, look at that simultaneous rocket trades. Levake
That's
shot
how
the rocket
died?
as Nibs' rocket was going out. Levake shot the rocket as well. It's simultaneous rocket fire. Now Saint very low HP, trying to build up. He's putting himself as high as he can right now. I believe he's not only is he getting third party by somebody. You heard the snipe shot a second ago.
So you see there, he got
he's in 1v1 against Sofa as well. Trying to edit Sofa.
Dude, that was brilliantly done by Sofa.
Pyramid play to cap him inside, and then the edit and replace.
And Sofa's an example of one of these guys that I've really heard of him.
21, and the fall. Landjock gets the fall damage.
I just went to go compliment him, and he died.
You need Jack. It's been almost every game.
I checked Twitter, and people were like, please don't ever compliment me while you're casting. Like, if I'm ever getting casted, you don't compliment me. I was about to say, Sofa had 5 limbs right there, so that's 2 points for him.
That's true. And Morgas, we watched him a number of times earlier. He was the player with struggling to get that third one, I believe, in the second game, but is still one of the highest ranked players on the leaderboard right now. So whether he got that elimination or not, he's been putting on an excellent show. The gameplay's been fantastic, and it shows. Landjack, we just watched a second ago. You gave him a good luck charm.
A limb.
Sitting on 6 eliminations. This could be number 7.
So give him 3 points.
Give him 3 points.
Trying to spray on through. This is for trying to place a trap, but it wasn't his wall. That was actually the enemy placing the trap. Trying to find an open wall to shoot. He's getting third party as well.
27 HP left.
Oh my no!
An excellent timing from Snood to say, okay, you guys are fighting. I want to fight too.
That was his chance for the 3 points. For
6
the
eliminations. You should still feel great about that.
For the tie break, again, tiebreakers. Total victory royales first, then total eliminations. And only 4 people can have victory royales. So
elimination it's
going to go to eliminations basically right away.
Whether it gives you a point or not.
Yep.
$19 left. This circle is closing, which means every circle after this is when it starts to move. Now this is Morgas just a moment ago.
He missed.
Oh. Mid-air.
Wow.
SMG spray off the bounce pad there. His opponent missed the first jump, jumped up on top, and had to reposition.
Morgas is in the zone, taking a ton of damage. Finally will make it on out. He's going to get shot down too. This could be the ending here for our friend Morgas.
Not far enough of a drop to do fall damage. Tristan Hibbs sitting inside, and the rockets coming out. You see the quick. He knows the rockets coming in. It's time to just put up every surface you can before you fall too far. Shotgunning, he's mad at trees, but he needed to get rid of that just so he could make a move through that surface, just in case there were another rocket. Maybe somebody pushes in.
And this is one of the healthier games Exus has had. Most times we've gone to him, he's had like no shields, but already 5 limbs, top 18, maxed rockets. 1K AR ammo and 8 minis.
And he has a bounce pad, which means he can
Exus is in the best position of any player in this game right now, I think. Already in the next zone, too.
That's actually ridiculous.
He's in a fantastic, he's in a really fantastic spot. As he somehow gets sniped from the heavens. A player learned a new skill.
Don't say it anymore.
New weapon, curved bullet. This gun shoots curved bullets over structures.
I feel like the compliments right now, Jack, might be a debuff for the players too. You got to be very careful what you say.
Debuff. I'm done.
All right, so taking advantage. 12 rockets, like you said, taking the shots from above, just trying to put as much pressure on his opponent. Maybe getting an opportunity where somebody third parties and takes a wall out. He can get a shot on somebody and get just the last bit of damage to get an elim. Yo-Yo hiding in the box over there. X's this position. It really can't get any better than this. He can watch everybody. He's not too high, so fall damage won't be too much an issue. And right now, the zone is moving. 30 seconds for players to move. 18 left, which means 8 more go down, and then people start getting points for their rank.
And he's just taking a little more of a setup area in the zone to look out of the new storm to be able to shoot on players pushing on in. Huggable guy dropped to 1 HP. There's the elim from Mac. C9's blind.
Blind sitting in an excellent position too. He knows, you can hear the fighting underneath. He is just spinning, looking for any chance to even just get one shot on somebody because storm damage and other
big shields. 4 big shields is what blind has. Please go ahead, do damage to me. I can literally block it forever.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now Nate with the he's going for that edit. He's trying to apply some pressure. Smacking out all these structures. He's got to build himself into a box, essentially. You see, like I said before, players they'll pickaxe out a surface, replace it immediately with their own, and then even sometimes instantly edit a window on either side or the middle, just to see if they can get a peek shot on somebody that might have been watching and backing up from it. Any sort of surprise. Now, Nate doesn't realize no one else is in there right now, but he knows there's people around. X is still sitting here, sitting just as good as he was before.
Yep.
He might be distant from the next safe zone, but he does have the bounce pad. You see right there on the street, somebody flying in. C9 blind, making a move early, trying to get in the next safe zone, or at least a position right next to him.
He's literally building height just to bounce pad.
Here it comes, yep.
Oh,
the shots on the way in.
That was blind, just returning the favor. And in that situation, I love that play. Give up the high ground, just play that low ground.
Now that top side of the map, those players are all going to be kind of forced into each other unless they can maintain their own elevations and maybe never run into each other. A rocket intended to get the drop, the fall damage.
He's returning the favor now, back to blind. Eggs is looking for one more limb to put him at 7. Can he find it here? Continuing the build.
Services, yep.
Doubling up on the layers. Basically, so instead of just having one floor that he could fall through at any time, they've got to tear through a brick floor and then a brick pyramid if they're gonna knock that out, which gives them enough time to react.
Go back and maybe replace the floor that got shot out underneath. You see those too. You see the structure shake underneath, so he just needs to move back.
It's actually not held on by a lot.
The number of players that are in 1-by-1s right next to each other right now. X is moving down, I think, the goal here. He's sitting on 6 limbs. One more is 7, which is 3 points. He's top 12 right now. I shouldn't have said anything either, Jack. I feel bad.
X is and think that was 1 limb away from another point and 2 more positions away from another point for being top 10. So two points missed out on if he can just stay alive a little bit longer.
Look at the HP of blind as he moves in. He actually just jumped in. 1 HP. I was commenting on it again. Jack, did you pass the curse to me? Jack, blind had 1 HP, started to move in and got caught off guard. Nib's going to try. Oh,
going for it all.
Dropping in. Prodigy Aces getting eliminated.
He's got 2 limbs. Prodigy Aces is racking up the score right now. He drops to Karos.
So many of these players have so few HP left. We're down to the top 3. Nibs drops down, takes fall damage.
Wheats
5 limbs for Wheats.
If Wheats gets these last 2 limbs,
within the 7 and the win. Nibs pushing through. Wheats goes down. Courage, you need to stop saying it.
I really need to stop, man. I'm sorry.
This is a note for tomorrow. 1v1 here.
Fulmer trying to play this high ground, spraying on down with this drum gun. He sees the campfire, which basically gives away exactly which 1-by-1 this player's in. Still a whole nother zone to go. This isn't like the other games where it's kind of ending with a heal off. They still have so much time until that kind of moment comes on through.
Fulmer's trying to move across above and maybe catch this last player underneath him on rotation, catch him off guard and try and get the elim. The number of rounds though. Look at Nibs' ammo. Look at Nibs' ammo. He is stacked. And Fulmer's sitting on basically nothing.
Yep.
Fulmer's accuracy, the timing of these shots need to be absolutely perfect. Now Nibs can essentially spray at this moment.
Can we go back to Fulmer for a second possibly to see exactly what he's got in his inventory? Because you see, I don't think either player is healing.
12 builds, no healing. He's got 2 spike traps, maybe something else in the trap slot, we can't tell.
Yep.
But so few rounds for anything.
Yep.
Less than 100 rounds.
This is a rough spot to be in. Neither player has heals. Who will be the aggressor here?
Fulmer did an edit and reset it so that he could watch the wood come in and kind of try and look through, see if he can spot this player on rotation. Somebody's going to have to make a play. Fulmer's waiting for the last second. He's above. You can hear the pickaxing from the player underneath. 1v1, match Fulmer, 4.
I think he's going to just go for it. Drop down and go. 3, 2, 1. First edit. Second layer. Third layer. Trying to spot where he is. Nothing yet. Here comes the spray. He's in the 1-by-1. The spray down. Down to his 40 HP. The clock is ticking. He's got to make something happen. He knows he's tagged the health. He tagged the HP. He knew he had the advantage. That's all he needed to do.
Rank 1 for Fulmer there. The last second damage play. Well done.
Yep. because he gets that 1 point of damage done to the player, 1 shot of HP, that means that all he needs to do is just, well, outlive him in the storm, outbuilds him there. Beautifully done, had barely anything to his name, so yeah, you'll see it again here. The zone closes on in. Nibs tries to push out to catch his opponent off guard. Doesn't happen because immediately it's just awkward. The player's just above him. Now he's trying to out-heal, out to the damage, and it just wasn't enough. He drops to the zone, GG.
Unbelievable. The drama of the last game of the day, Jack.
Always.
I want more.
Right? Hey, don't worry, tomorrow.
We have 2 more days of heat qualifiers.
Yes.
And then Monday, the grand finals, $1.5 million.
It's nuts. I think a lot of people who maybe didn't qualify today are watching. Watch these matches tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Taking notes for their potential qualifier games tomorrow morning in the 3 heats. Again, if you are in the Seattle area, you're here for PAX West, and you want to play, get up early, get in line. You can participate. Bring your pass, show up early, get involved, because guess what? This is a life-changing opportunity, and you could somehow earn yourself a major prize money, $225,000 for first. Before we end the night, though, we've got some replays and some things to look back on Game 4. We have Landjock, who had some monster highlights at that game. I mean, you saw this for me was one of the more creative elims. Double C4s down. Jack went to go use his big shield to put him at 200 health. He stops him at mid-drink and elims him there.
Okay, Landjock trying to go for basically any knockdown on some of these players, too. The positioning. His positioning knowledge, knowing the location, the awareness of their position as well. The first elimination in that, the C4 one, you saw basically the perfect toss right through as the builds from Jack were going up. And he threaded the needle with the C4, pulled the trigger, and that was all. That was all he needed.
And that second elim you saw was actually on the Sofa, who won our first heat today. Sofa, someone who really impressed me, someone who I hadn't heard of prior to today, but might be making a name for himself this weekend.
Keep your eyes on him, Jack.
It's quite good. Also, Prodigy Aces, we highlighted him a lot that game. He had 2 crazy last-second elims there before he got taken out outside the zone. I believe that's this here. You see, 1 quick one, player to his left, second quick one, and then immediately tried to run on in, but unfortunately then got swarmed by another, and I think, yeah, that's where he met his match. That was Karos who took him down. Prodigy Ace is a name I've seen a lot in the Battle Royale genre.
The range on that pump action could be, it could be a friend or a foe. Oh, yeah, big time. And you saw right there, he was a number of shots that they were effective. They did damage, but just it wasn't just quite close enough.
Definitely better to have there than the double barrel, though. The double barrel would have done 4.
A little too far. Like, I mean, we said before, these players are taking advantage of that double barrel 100%. In the very last moments because you're hugging your opponents. But in situations like that where rotations are happening, it's not necessarily the best bet. And I think watching these games, seeing players swap their loadouts on the fly. We saw Double at the top of Tilted Towers with the hunting rifle. If he had made it later in the game, we saw action from him. He would have dropped that because that weapon, it's just not well utilized when you're in a box 1v1, 1v2 situation. You're trying to move with when the storm starts to move itself. You won't see a lot of players hold on to it. They know that late game engagements, they're up close. You have to be quick. You got a lot of flick shots with shotguns are going to come out.
Yep.
It's impressive. I love it.
And the mindset that we're seeing players have to decide on when they're 1 elim or 1 placement away from earning themselves a point, that can be all the difference. And we saw there, people at 6 try to get aggressive for that 7th elim, doesn't work out. Players at 2 try to drop on down, force the fight, doesn't work on out. There's kind of a look at the aftermath of the venue, people realizing, hey, I think I made it on through. Hey, I didn't. That's Nate Hill, who was had himself a monster game with that 2nd place with 5+ elims, or I think it's 7 in that one. Turkey Lips might be my most impressive player today, though, with the amount of elims he had.
He put on an excellent show.
Absolute
the positioning knowledge, too, we saw him putting himself in the spots to take advantage of not only third party, but simultaneously the storm pushing people. Players were on rotation, and he was just ahead of them, far enough up that he could say, now's the time to take a shot, and then I can move. And he's hitting those shots. His accuracy is wonderful. Like you said, Turkey Lips, I think, is going to be a player to keep your eyes on.
100%.
Especially on Monday.
And one of the players who we've seen so much of online that I'm not surprised to see them right at the top of the leaderboard, 72 Hours.
Oh, yeah.
From Liquid. He's known as one of the best players in these scenarios. And there he was. And actually, wow, I was just complimenting him, and I just received word from production that we have an interview with 72 Hours. Zeke, how's he doing?
ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
First off, let's just talk about you two. You guys are amazing. Great cast of day. I'm here with the winner, the #1 seed coming out for day 1. That is Liquid 72 Hours. Please come and join me, friend. How are you doing? First off,
tired, but I'm doing good.
I mean, let's talk about this, okay? So you've fought through 2 games today to qualify, and then now you placed, after 4 games, the #1 player. How does that feel?
Feels good. I did a lot of like research into how people played solos and how they were so successful, because I didn't find a lot of success initially in my solo scrims and my first solo summer skirmish, and I kind of went back and reflected, and feels really good that the hard work paid off.
And I mean, you're no stranger, right? We've seen you all summer skirmish long. What has it been like to start from the very beginning, to make it here and now to show up and still show players, hey, I'm the guy at the top. I'm someone that you need to look out for.
In the beginning, it was really nerve-wracking because you don't really know how you're going to perform in a tournament, but as the weeks have gone on, you've gotten more comfortable, and it feels good to show up today, especially on my end. So.
Now, let's talk back to the 3rd game where you literally clutched out. I mean, one of the craziest victory routes I think I've ever seen, right? You get pushed out of storm, you land, and with 3 HP, you secure the dub. What's going through your mind? What are the decisions you're making leading up to that moment?
I knew the storm was coming, and I needed to get the minis off because I knew I didn't have shield. And then once I pushed that guy from the storm, because I needed to get rid of him because I needed low ground, and I knew my mats were low, and it turns out he was out of mats too, or I just didn't grab his mats. And I was just pretty stressed, but I just tried to play it slow. And after I killed him, I realized just how low I was. I mean, I didn't realize I was only 3 HP. I knew I was low, but not that low. So it was definitely a crazy match for me too.
Fantastic. Now that you're #1, okay, you've qualified, you've made it to finals.
Right.
What is the strategy going into finals?
Just going to try to play the same way and just be consistent and make sure I get at least several points each game. And I think if I do that, I'll do pretty well in the tournament and place well.
What do you want to say to your fans out there? I mean, so many people love you, and you are arguably one of the top, I'd say, best players ever. So what do you got to say to your fans?
I appreciate all the support, everyone who's been with me since, other games I've played and then translated into, this BR genre in Fortnite. And thanks for everyone who believed. Appreciate it.
Well, congrats, Liquid. Good luck in finals. You know the dads of Twitch will be casting and watching, so good luck to you guys. Throwing it back over to you.
Brilliant stuff, Zeke. Congratulations again. 72 Hours, our #1 seed coming out of day 1. He's at the top spot, we know that, but we've got a full list of the standings. I know everyone wants to see who qualified. We'll go ahead and take a look at that, starting with our top players here. Man, I'm not surprised to see him at the top. I'm not going to lie, Lupo.
7 eliminations, 8 total points from Liquid 72 Hours, one of the best players out there right now. Morgas, somebody we kept our eyes on quite a bit, 11 elims, and only a handful of players, even down to 16th right there, pulling 10-plus elims. These players are the ones to watch for map knowledge, for positioning.
And I believe everything for Wheats in that 11th spot, I believe every elim and point he might have earned was in that final game. How nuts is that?
That's incredible.
And he finishes 11th as we continue on through. Strong 2 won our first game. That's all he needed to earn his 3 points. Literally got 2 elims and that top spot to make it on in. Now on to page 2. Remember, top 33 make it in. This is our top 32 up to this point. More familiar names. No surprise to see some of these people on this list.
No, it's kind of impressive to see Bolt Knockouts down there at 32nd. 8 eliminations, Jack, but only 1 point, which means there are a number of matches. He probably got the 2, was eliminated before 10th place.
There it is.
33rd, Dremen.
Dremen, who was landing at Westworld, that outer city outside Paradise Palms. 7 elims. He only had 1 point, but guess what? The aggressive early game plays pay off. We know our top 33. Congratulations to all of them. You'll be playing on Monday for that $1.5 million prize. What a day we just had ourselves, Lupo. And the brilliant part of it, we get to do it all again tomorrow.
2 more times. We have 2 more days of qualifiers, playing in the grand finals on Monday. And if you're here in Seattle, if you're at PAX West and you want a shot at this, you can still get in here. Registration, it's simple, all right? All you have to do is show up to this lot, what is it, 73?
Yes, it is.
And show up early. Trust me, people are ravenous to get in, all right? And if you get in for registration, make sure you go to the play location at the right time. You have to report on time. and play your heart out. All right, $1.5 million on the line. You got to put in maximum effort.
Absolutely.
And my heart would be racing, man, for games like this. It's a lot of high tension, a lot of high action, and those storms are disclaiming a lot of people. Positioning has been wonderful. We've seen some top-tier gameplay from a lot of players, a lot of names that we've seen in the previous 7 Summer Skirmish weeks. And you have to remember, over the 8 weeks of Summer Skirmish, $8 million, with $1.5 million culminating here at PAX West.
It's been fun. I was going to ask your final thoughts, but I feel like you kind of just
I laid them out there for you, Jack. I'm reading your mind, brother.
Either way, I'll give mine. Awesome day. Shout out to everybody again. Patient through kind of a couple of hiccups, but either way, live tomorrow again, 6 p.m. PST. We'll figure out our next 33 players that will make it on into that grand final on Monday. More huge names involved. Again, thank you so much for watching. Shout out to everyone in production for a great day number 1. Live again tomorrow, #Summer Skirmish. It all culminates here at PAX West. We'll see you then.